Welcome back to Rose-Hulman softball as we are getting ready for game one of the doubleheader against Hanover College. The game started just a couple minutes ago, a little ahead of schedule. I'm Luke Burton. Here with me is Troy Darengowski. And we are about 2 batters in. We have shortstop Morgan Bailey up to bat.
Well, just to recap real quick, Addison Smith got on an infield base hit, and then Nisi Reyna got on, and, of course, now they did call that a base hit after the ball was hit to the shortstop and went under a glove.
That one hit towards right field. A little error there by the first baseman, and that'll be a run scored by Addison Smith.
Well, good start if you're Hanover, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it's going to take for these two teams to get into the tournament coming up next week. And it's pretty evident that when you look at the standings, we'll check those out here in a few moments, that both these teams really have to win out in order to give themselves a chance. Plus, they're going to have to get some help from some of the other teams in the middle of the pack.
That's right. Both teams in a bit of a hole here right as we get into the tournament. The next 2 games after this, we've got Ashley Fulton, the left fielder, up to bat, and Carsey Nowie, the third baseman, on deck.
You know, Hanover, fresh off their doubleheader split against Earlham. They lost the first game, only managed 6 hits in that loss, but they came back and got a nice win in game 2, 4-3. And so they got what they needed out of one of those middle-range teams there in that split, but they're still a team that doesn't hit particularly well on the season, only .275 coming into this one, and they only average 4 runs per game. So they know if they're going to win this first game and put pressure on Rose-Hulman in game 2 is they've got to get some runs across the plate early, and they're kind of setting the tone already.
That's absolutely right. Hanover 1-3 in their last 4 games, really needing wins here. Obviously, both teams need it desperately. This is going to be hard-fought matches all night. Very excited for what we have in store. Ashley Fulton just fouled one off. Nice hit to left field. That'll be a double as the left fielder struggling to get it. And that gets a runner batted in.
Well, this is a good start for Hanover. As I mentioned a little bit ago, they only average 4 runs per game. To get 3 runs in the first inning is big. And for Rose-Hulman, a couple of miscues out in the field have cost them at this stage. And they're going to have to find a way. And, again, when you think about Thering, the pitcher, really solid this year from an ERA standpoint at 4.20, but not a lot of run support on the other side. She comes into this one at 4-10 on the year, 33 strikeouts and 14 walks. But so far early, the bats have been there for Hanover.
Yeah, a couple of early errors early on is not going to help you. So they've got 2 already. And they just need to settle the nerves a little bit. Both teams know that these are big games. Carsey now, he watches that one fly by for a ball.
We mentioned this Hanover team hitting-wise, even at .275. They only average about 7 hits per game. They're already halfway or nearly halfway to that point right now here in the first inning. They don't walk a whole lot either, only averaging about 2 walks. So if they can get base runners and really put a lot of runs on the board early, I think they have a good shot at winning this, but you can't stand there and watch as now we did there to get the strikeout. And this is a big strikeout on the other side as Thering able to get that first out of the half inning.
Desperately needed that. Panthers were off to some hot momentum there at the beginning. Up to bat is Claire King.
You know, one thing about Hanover, too.
Nice hit set to the second baseman. And that's an error from the third baseman, not able to get it. And Ashley Fulton will run home.
Yeah, this is not a good start for Rose-Hulman in the field, as we said a little bit ago, the amount of misplays we have seen already. Now, as I've already talked about this Hanover team, if they get a doubleheader sweep today, and then they get Berea in their next 2 games, that's potentially 4 wins in this last week, and it could vault them into the tournament. I think they really know how important it is to get this first game and again put the pressure on Rose-Hulman in game 2. But on the other side, Rose-Hulman really going to have to find a way to get focused a little bit more here in this first inning.
Already in a hole for Rose-Hulman, but as we've seen all season, these scores can get ran up any inning. And right now they just need to get back on track. Allie Christ up to bat. Gets a hold of that one, but that'll be a pop out. And that'll end the inning.
At the end of the top of the first, there were 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and none left on base. Due up for Rose-Hulman, Emily Hodges just
so Panthers score 4 runs at the top of the inning. Can't ask for much of a better inning than that. We are brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown John Deere dealer since 1955. With 5 central Indiana locations, Reynolds meets all your equipment parts and service needs. From Boilermakers Local 374, representing skilled workers across Indiana, discover the Boilermaker advantage with Local 374. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. From Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893, thanks to generous, caring individuals like you. From Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. From LifeWise Academy, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. Or rather, LifeWise Academy brings Bible educations to public school students. Learn more at lifewise.org. And from Leuna, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunity. And IndianaSRN Sports Page, sports from border to border and coast to coast. Your source for high school and college sports coverage.
Well, the right-hander, Lulu Van Beek, 6-9 on the season, an ERA 5.81, 80 strikeouts and 34 walks. The one area that I believe for Rose-Hulman can at least take advantage of her today is the opposing batting average. She gives up at 383 on the season. So you know you can get hits. The question is how many runs you can score. But she also has to feel very, very good after 4 runs for Hanover in the top of the first inning.
Absolutely. She's got a little cushion to work with, but that batting average, 383, is nothing to sneeze at. As Rose-Hulman just needs to play this smart. Up to bat is Emily Hodges. She'll let that first one fly by.
Rose-Hulman coming off that doubleheader sweep at Berea, won 6-1 and 13-3.
Swing and a miss.
Still a good hitting team here for Rose-Hulman. 332 coming in.
No call that one a strike. Must have caught the top right corner of the box. Count is 1-2. And she swings at a wide pitch. And that's the first out of the bottom of the first.
Well, that's a good pitch right there. Leadoff hitter, pitcher low and outside. If she's looking to slap hit it, she would have had to have reached way outside to get him. That's a really good pitch there by Van Beek.
Van Beek was just painting the corners, and that's a good hit. And that'll slide past the first baseman for a base hit.
Well, Newsom hitting .383 on the year, the type of player you love to get on base. She has 15 stolen bases on the season, which would be big. Again, you're down 4-0. It's still early. Love to get her in scoring position right here with Smith at the plate.
Absolutely. Like I said, you need to play smart, but down 4, you have to be a little aggressive. And with her stolen base record, she might have to take a couple chances whenever she can.
Well, and Smith at .367 and also has power, 4 home runs. You don't want to take the bat out of her hands either, but you know, if you want to get something going down 4-0, it's probably at this stage where I would look to maybe get Newsom going. At this point, you're down 0-2.
Aubrey Smith watches that one go by for a ball.
That's more of a waste pitch right there to see perhaps if the runner at first may be going. Don't give your number 3 hitter anything to hit and drive and get that bat out in front.
And she's throwing for the second base, and she'll get it. An excellent play like we were just talking about. She's got to take those chances, and it pays off for her there, showing off her speed.
Well, got a good jump, read it well. That'll be number 16 on this season. A lot of times, if you can get that good jump, and the pitch wasn't exactly a good one to handle for the catcher, Foy, but still good enough for the stolen base.
Aubrey Smith, foul ball off the net.
See, and I think for Rose-Hulman, they know that they can score runs. I mean, you're fresh off 19 runs against Berea, though Berea not one of the better teams in the conference, but still swinging the bat with a lot of confidence here in the bottom half of the first inning. And unfortunately, 2 strikeouts and another really good pitch by Van Beek.
Absolutely. Van Beek is doing a great job, but as we saw, Jessica Newsom can run whenever she wants. She is fast and smart. I'm sure that the pitcher will have a head on a swivel.
Well, it'd be really hard if you're looking to get Newsom to third. Again, you got your cleanup hitter at the plate. Again, another situation you don't really want to take the bat out of her hands. Give her a chance to drive in a run right here. Because it'd be awful hard to steal third base at this stage. Foy behind the plate has a really good look down at third. I think I'd rather take my chances with Winkler at the plate.
Right now, Winkler up to 2 strikes. Watches that one fly by for a ball.
I think it was another good waste pitch. Don't give anything, again, out of the plate where she can get the head of that bat and drive anything at this stage. Now let's see if she goes back outside and try to get a fishing something out of the strike zone.
Decent contact, but not enough as that one's off the back net.
Well, you can tell Van Beek has a really good velocity on her fastball.
Yeah, I was walking past her in the pin earlier, and I could the sound of the catcher's mitt was just a pop. Just trying to see if I would be able to get a hit off on her. I don't think I could.
Now, this advantage Winkler, you don't want to put 2 runners on with 2 outs. You'd love to get this one right here if you're Van Beek.
Strikes her out. And that'll be the end of the first inning.
At the end of the bottom of the first, there were no runs,
Panthers up
no hit,
4-0.
no errors, and 1 left on
Great
base.
start for the Panthers.
Hanover
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman on RHIT.TV. Panthers up 4-0 against our Fighting Engineers.
Up to bat for Hanover, number 15, Maddie Kamer.
Maddie Kamer up to bat, first baseman. We saw early on the Fighting Engineers were struggling with errors, led to 4 runs in the first inning. As that one's fouled off.
Well, sometimes it does take a little bit to get going, and if you're not prepared and ready to go, sometimes you'll give up those 4 runs. It's a Rose-Hulman team that certainly has the ability to come back, but you got to make plays just like that. That's a routine play that you have to make in games like this. You're already talking about 3 errors here in the first inning plus, and that just shows me a little bit of lack of focus.
Mm-hmm. 3rd error already, and that'll lead to another batter on base. Right now the Panthers can't seem to do anything wrong. Up to bat is Sydney Fox. Goes for the bunt, right to the pitcher, and she'll get it to the second baseman. That was a close one.
I'm not so sure when you look at Kamer going down to second base. She almost let up as she got closer to the base. You take another look at it right there, and I'm not so sure. You got to really hustle down. You know the bunt's coming. Once that contact is made, then you got to take off towards second base. Other than that, I mean, well-executed play. You did exactly what you needed to do as a hitter.
Maybe getting a little bit complacent with that lead. Up to bat at the top of the lineup is Addison Smith. She'll hit it to the shortstop, and that'll be another out at second.
So the good news is if you are Rose-Hulman, despite the error that you had on Shear down at third, you can get out of this without any further damage done. And you got, again, a lot of help on the other side with Hanover not getting that runner down to second base. So potentially nothing hurt here in inning number 2.
Nisi Reyna up to bat. Right now the batters are able to make contact and get to first. It's just getting thrown out at second seems to be their problem. And that's a good problem to have if you're Rose-Hulman, not allowing them to make any progress.
Great throw.
And the runner's out at second. That is the end of the top of the second. Panthers held scoreless this inning.
No runs, no hits, 1 error, and none left on base.
Rose allowed me to have a good foundation as an engineer. Like, you enjoy solving those problems. There are 500 different directions that we could go, and only one is likely the right one that's going to work. Figuring out why it works or why it could work, what could break, like really thinking 5 steps ahead. That's what Rose teaches you to do. It's not a factory of like just trying to get people out the door and getting them their degrees. Like, they genuinely care about each individual student. They want you to walk away feeling like you got out of it what you wanted. That's what sets Rose-Hulman apart. Together, we are Rose-Hulman.
Welcome back, fans. Panthers up 4-0 on our Fighting Engineers.
Let's take a look at the standings after a couple of games were played on Tuesday in which Mount St. Joseph swept Berea 7-0 and 4-1. So Mount St. Joseph now 13-3. They have a game lead over Transylvania and Franklin, who are both 11-3. Those 3 teams, by the way, have already qualified for the HCAC tournament next week in Kokomo. Earlham is 9-5. They currently sit in 4th. You have Bluffton at 8-8, Manchester at 7-7, and Anderson at 7-9. Rose-Hulman is 4-10. Hanover 3-11. Berea has been eliminated from contention at 1-13. So you kind of see there the idea is at this stage you got to find a way to catch Anderson or Manchester the rest of the way in the final 4 games. And again, as I said a little bit ago, it starts tonight, and I think that if you don't win this first game, either one of these 2 teams, you don't win the first game, you're probably not mathematically eliminated, but you're pretty close.
You're desperate in this position.
Very much
essentially. You are at the mercy of multiple other teams.
Well, and you never want to leave it to somebody else to help you get in. Inevitably, you're going to get disappointed. So if you take care of business yourself, and probably if you look at both Rose-Hulman and Hanover, they may look back at some games earlier this year and wish they'd have done it earlier in the season. It wouldn't have come down to this, but unfortunately, those are the cards you have dealt to you right now.
Good contact there, but not enough for Abigail Shearer. She'll be thrown out at first. Up to bat here is Caitlin Sarvis.
Now, between Transylvania, Franklin, and Mount St. Joseph, though Earlham still has a chance to get into the top 4, it's all down to seeding between those 3 teams. And with Transylvania taking on Franklin, that'll be at Transylvania coming up on Thursday night. We'll have all of our eyes in the HCAC watching that doubleheader. So it's going to be fun to watch here in the next couple of days. The end of the regular season will be coming up on Saturday, and by then we'll know exactly where everybody will be seated for that tournament.
Nice hit out to right field, and that'll be a single. Yeah, I'm sure both teams will be sweating bullets watching those games.
Well, and they should. But again, you've made the bed yourself, and you're going to look back at games throughout the season that you probably should have won, or games that you probably shouldn't have lost, and now you're in a situation where you're really going to have to play good softball, not only tonight, but when you play your next game coming up on Saturday, which will be another doubleheader. If you don't win, and let's say you get swept tonight, and you don't have any chance whatsoever, and I would imagine as a coach you start looking at some players that might help you next year too.
Absolutely. Lost ball by the catcher. Sarvis elects to stay put.
Well, you saw Hanover in the last half inning trying to steal a base. They want to add to this. They're not going to be satisfied with a 4-0 lead, knowing that at times this year they've given up a lot of runs in games. And that may not happen with Van Beek in the circle today, but the bottom line is they need runs. They just don't score enough to make you feel comfortable as a pitching staff that you're going to get that kind of support.
Right now, Van Beek doing a great job keeping the score low. Granted, it is the second inning.
Well, and her best pitch so far has been the fastball.
Absolutely.
And when she's able to combine the fastball and maybe an off-speed pitch, get that pitch low and outside, she has kept Rose-Hulman off balance.
Yeah, she's been able to bait the batters pretty good as she's just painting the batting box. Or the strike zone, rather.
Well, and right now, Foy didn't have to worry too much about the runner down at first. Sarvis is not exactly a stolen base threat, so their idea is get a double play here perhaps and get out of the inning or get another strikeout.
Coleman struck out there.
And that's 4 for her now.
Up to bat, Rosie Trivioli.
Up next to bat, number 4, Rosie Trivioli.
Well, the strikeout to walk ratio is about 2-1 for Van Beek. And we talked about her ERA at 5.81, which isn't terrible, but again, when you look over the entire season, it's 6-9 is her record. It just hasn't been a whole lot of run support.
Good contact, sun in her eyes, but she makes the catch in right field. And bottom of the second is over. Panthers still 4-0.
At Rose-Hulman, our goal is to give our students the world's best STEM education in an environment of individual attention and support, all while achieving over 98% job placement after graduation. Your first year at Rose is all about building community. During your time at Rose, you'll be collaborating with other students in a diverse array of clubs, intramurals, and out in the community. You might be in the 40% of students that play a sport, or the third that are involved in fraternities and sororities. Over 90% of all Rose-Hulman students have at least one internship, co-op or research opportunity, or study abroad by the start of their senior year. Your degree in STEM means you won't be stuck on one path, though. STEM is all about creative problem solving. And Rose-Hulman is a place where creative minds thrive. The skills you learn here will help you reach your career goals and will grow with you as a person for the rest of your life.
Up to bat for Hanover, number 3, DC Reina.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman softball. Panthers still up 4-0 after a scoreless second inning. Right now, Hanover up to bat. Nisi Reina.
Yeah, she ended up part of that 4-run first inning, got one of the base hits. It's the kind of start that Hanover was hoping for. And if they look at the other side, if they can continue to get strong pitching, the deeper we go, the more pressure will be on Rose-Hulman. Get some runs on the board.
Gets a piece of it right into the catcher. She looks a little hurt. That's a thumbs up, and she's fine.
She's fine. The umpire says, I'll just give her a little break here, and generally that's always the case, whether it be baseball or softball, give her a chance to get herself ready to go for the next pitch.
Didn't quite see where it hit her, but it didn't sound good.
And it looks like right shoulder.
That's a thumbs up. She'll
She's
be
good.
fine. Reina showing bunt. Gets a piece of it down to the first baseman. That's an easy scooping out.
Well, showing bunt, but Reina, bottom line, was going to come back and try to slap that one someplace. Generally, if you're going to slap it, you're going to try to slap it at the opposite side. Only problem is if you do that side, you have Winkler and Sarvis very good at first and second base defensively, so that's a really hard thing to do.
Morgan Bailey up to bat. All the errors so far have come from the left side of the field. So I'm sure they're going to target that area.
Well, and what's kind of hard to figure out for the engineer side, as I said a little bit ago, I think perhaps a little bit unfocused coming in to start the first game of the doubleheader. I would be very surprised if you see that the rest of the way. This is a team that is well coached. They don't make those kind of errors, and I wish I were in the dugout to hear what maybe the coach had to say to them, but I think he's got them back on track here in the third inning. I'd find it hard to believe you're going to see that the rest of the way.
No, it's hard to believe you'd see that in any game. It's a little out of the ordinary, but like you said, it was probably just warming up, not being focused. It's a nice hit out to right field. She's not going to be able to get the ball to first in time, and that's safe. Morgan Bailey.
Well, already 4 hits now for Hanover, and you know, the one thing you've seen so far, they're not afraid to take it the opposite way, which is, I think, good disciplined hitting. If the pitch is low and outside out of your strike zone, you can step out there and go the opposite way instead of trying to pull it, which generally ends up being a ground ball out, and now you got your base runner in trouble.
And she's out at second. A little risky there, got caught.
Well, it wasn't. Thing is, it's not smart base running there by Bailey. You have a base runner, only 1 out, and you bluff the steal, and then you get too far off and you caught basically no man's land. That's 2 mistakes now, 1 stolen base attempt, and then a base running error by Hanover. And you're going to have to wait and put a little asterisk next to inning number 3 to see how that might affect them the rest of the way, where they potentially could have 2 more runs if they get a key base hit with the next hitter.
Absolutely, especially in games as big of stakes as this. Any on base you can get is so valuable, and she'll be out at first. Rose-Hulman keeps the score 4-0 Panthers.
No errors and none left on base. Do it for Rose-Hulman, Lucille Piers, and
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman softball on RHIT.TV. After 2 scoreless tops of the innings, the Engineers are looking to get some points on the board here as the Panthers lead 4-0.
Well, no time like the present. You have your bottom of the order, and then you get a chance to go back through for the second time. And I would venture to say that the Rose-Hulman hitter is going to be a little more selective. You already have 4 strikeouts now for Van Beek. And a couple of those, in fact, you kind of look at a pitch like that was high and outside, you get a little anxious as a hitter there. You got to be a little more selective. Get something that in your comfort zone, in the strike zone, that you can drive. And it even looks like on the hitter right there with Pierce is just a little bit behind the fastball by Van Beek.
That one sent out far right, way out of the stadium. Good eye there by Pierce.
And you saw Foy intentionally getting to the outside, out of the strike zone. It was a waste pitch. And Van Beek was hoping perhaps that Pierce would go ahead and take a swing at it for the final strike.
Decent contact there, but that'll be a quick out as the second baseman gets to it pretty quickly.
Well, the deeper that Van Beek goes, without giving up any runs, the tougher she'll be to get later in the innings, because then the confidence level starts to go up. You know, your defenders behind you start to feel there's going to be a win here, and they'll give that extra effort as well. So there's what you need right there as Hodges gets the base hit.
Just out of reach for Maddie Kamer, excuse me, is not able to reach it there. And that's a good on base. And Rose-Hulman desperately needs this.
Well, so now you got a little bit of speed at first base. You have a chance here for Newsom. Could be a good hit-and-run player, hit maybe behind the base runner. Let's see what the strategy will be to get that first run on the board.
Newsom, good contact there. And that's an error as the left fielder's not able to grab it. And that sets up 2 runners on base.
Well, she won't officially be charged with an error since a base runner didn't advance. But nonetheless, Newsom able to first pitch hit. And that might be the best thing to think about as a hitter with Van Beek, is that could be the best pitch I'm going to see the entire at-bat. I might take a shot at that first pitch. Unless it's out of the strike zone like that.
Of course, that one high right.
Now, Aubrey struck out the first time swinging.
Aubrey averages .367 on the season.
So she kind of knows now what to expect.
Another pitch high.
Well, the one thing as a hitter, I want to get out in front. So I'm out 2-0. Let's see if you can see something here from Van Beek right across the plate. Something good to drive. I probably have a green light if I like the pitch.
And she liked that one, but it's a high one, and that'll be out in right field. Baseman still able to get to third and second, and they're running home. And that's a run. Emily Hodge is able to get to home.
Well, the biggest mistake was, again, the throw to third wasn't a bad throw, but you didn't have a chance to get the runner down to second. You saw the replay right there. The runner was only a few feet from second base by the time you threw it from third, and it got into the outfield. Hold on to the ball. There's no need to give up anything else because there was nothing else hurt. You got the second out. The run wasn't going to score. You worry about now the next hitter coming to the plate. That's your main concern. But don't give up a runner right here for no reason. You weren't going to get that runner at second base anyway.
Rose-Hulman desperately needed that. Bring the game within 3. Got Jaden Winkler on base, or on to bat.
Another strikeout victim in the first inning. And now you're starting to see Van Beek not quite where she wants to be. All of her pitches have been a little bit up in the strike zone in the last couple of hitters, and that's going to be danger time if these Rose-Hulman hitters can connect with those and get a good drive into the outfield. But right now, Van Beek struggling a little bit in the circle.
Runner at third, waiting for an opportunity to run. Winkler averages 195 batting, so a little bit of struggles there. But as long as she can just get to first, that should be a good opportunity to bring the game a little closer. So that one's wide right.
Emma Fudd. 3 balls and a strike.
Good contact out right, and that'll be a base hit, right? Bring a batter in. And it's a 2-run game.
Yeah, Winkler had a 3-1 pitch. Looked like maybe Van Beek took something off of that pitch to get it across the plate for a strike. But, boy, and that's a good piece of hitting. Went opposite way right there as you took another look at it. So, again, now you look back at the 2 runs that are scored. If you don't throw that at third, you're potentially out of this half inning.
That one a little right, made contact, and it's foul. But, yeah, that last hit was perfectly placed right between second baseman and right field. No one able to get to it.
Well, and Shear, a good hitter at the 5-hole. Again, you're just looking for something to drive. Put it in play.
Shear averaging 333 on the season.
Probably saw a really good pitch right there. It was too good to lay off. And at least the one thing you noticed about the amount of strikeouts that Van Beek has, they're all swinging. And so Rose-Hulman is not standing there watching pretty good pitches go by at any point.
Good eye right there as that one's a little bit over the strike zone. Shear's got 2 strikes. That one low. Van Beek trying to get anything out of her, but she's got a good eye right there.
Well, if I am Shear, I'm still looking for that pitch to drive at this point. You're probably going to get a good one here. You don't want to go down 3-2, and that's exactly what happened.
Full count now with another low ball.
And you know Winkler will get a pretty good jump down at first base. If you get a base hit to right field, you're definitely at first and third.
High hit out to right field. Sun in her eyes, but she makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. Panthers up 4-2. Engineers able to score 2 in this inning.
Nanotechnology is in so many different facets of our lives that we don't even realize. So the easy thing is smartphones. Nanoscale chips that are in the smartphones. Something else you don't think about are the sensors in all of our cameras. Those sensors that give us the pretty pictures are made by nano engineers. Glitter. It's everywhere, right? Parents' worst nightmare. It's actually a highly designed structure of thin films that they create to have a certain effect. And so that's why you have a single colored glitter, you have a color shift glitter. That's nano engineering.
Welcome back, fans, to Rose-Hulman softball on RHIT.TV. Last inning, we saw Rose-Hulman dig themselves a little bit out of the hole that they created in the first inning by scoring 2 the last inning.
Well, I think what you're going to see eventually for Rose-Hulman is old man momentum has really kind of swung back to their side. I think they're going to, if they get base runners, I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on Hanover again and try to force them into mistakes, kind of what Hanover did to Rose-Hulman in that first inning.
Old man momentum was my nickname in high school.
Yeah.
And I no longer hold that title. I don't know what happened. Up to bat here is Carson Nowie.
Well, and I'm going to go back to the other side with this Panther team. I mean, they made some mistakes, base running errors in the second and third innings that potentially could have cost them maybe a run. And I think when you're at this stage, knowing you got to fight your way into that tournament, you want to take some chances, but you also need to be really careful where you take those chances.
Right, just need to straighten up a couple plays where you had opportunities. We saw earlier a base runner got caught between first and second. Just a little sloppy base running. Every on base matters. You cannot let one go if you're either team. That one a little inside, makes contact, and it'll be another foul ball.
And I don't mind when I'm up 4-0 being aggressive, but I also know I need to be smart about it. If I'm the leadoff hitter and I don't have a ton of stolen bases, I still want 2, 3, 4, and 5 to try to get me in at some point. But I also can't get caught stealing and then find myself the number 3 hitter getting on base and making a silly base running error.
Absolutely. That pitch a little low. Good contact there, just a little bit early. Sends it wide left.
Well, there was something, again, the pitcher took something off of that pitch. That's why she was out in front of it, because if you have seen the foul ball she's been hitting, it's all been to our right. So that time, maybe a little bit of a changeup she had to deal with.
Contact out to the shortstop. It's a long pass. And she's safe at first.
Yeah, that'll be an infield base hit. Certainly love to see maybe my third baseman Shear play a step in kind of where she is right now. Now, with Claire King at the plate, not a real dangerous hitter. They're going to play her to perhaps try to either bunt the runner over or try to slap it the opposite way, which would, my guess, would be a easier thing to do in a lot of ways if you get the right pitch, because you got the second baseman going towards second, first baseman coming back to first. There could be something on that right side.
Claire King, a .340 batting average. Good contact there to the shortstop. Not able to get a hold of it. Another one of the many struggles we've seen from the Engineers on their fielding.
Yeah, and realistically, all the shortstop has to do, and I say all she has to do, but field cleanly, get the leadoff runner, and that's all you need to worry about. You're probably not going to get the double play simply because King was quick down the line. You probably knew her speed, but make sure you get that first out.
Her number's been called a lot today, shortstop. That one's high right.
Well, you're hoping that you're calling shortstop's name in more positive nature, but Hodges has made a couple of mistakes. That's already 4 errors now for the Fighting Engineers, and you generally don't see them make that many mistakes this early in a game.
Allie Chris looking to bunt here, it seems.
And you had mentioned earlier about the amount of mistakes made on that left side, and that's generally where right-handed hitters are going to go, is to the left. So you're going to have to shore that up as you see the shift a little bit for a right-handed hitter here.
That one sails right over our box. That's 2 strikes.
Chris, by the way, flew out her first time up. She popped up right side. I have a feeling she is trying to go to the right side again.
That one just a little low.
And here's where she has to protect. You get a good look at her right there. She's up in the box, anticipating something a little bit slower on this pitch.
And that's good pitch as she strikes out Chris.
Yeah, I think she was looking something outside there, and she missed that one badly, but that's a big strikeout. And now it sets up a potential double play. If anything, make sure you get the force down at third.
Rose-Hulman not in a position to make any mistakes right here with 2 batters on.
Kamer 0 for 1. She reached on an error by Shear in the second inning, one of the 4 we have seen.
Kamer makes contact. That one looks like it's going foul. First baseman catches it, but the runners stay put. Now, no room for a double play like you mentioned earlier.
No, that's okay. You got the out. You still have a force at any base for the final out. Now you're facing the number 9 hitter in the lineup in Foy, who reached on a fielder's choice her first time up. You like your odds right now if you're Rose-Hulman after giving up the base hit and the air to lead off this half inning. That's a good pitch. You know, one thing about Thering, too, is when you gave up 4 runs in the first and then there was an error committed in the second, you gave up a base hit in the third, but you eventually picked the runner off. I mean, her confidence level has to be going up inning by inning as well, knowing that you survived that first inning, you're right back in this, only down by 2 as we play here in the 4th, and now she just needs to go back to the game plan of what the plan was to attack these hitters coming into this game.
Exactly. Outside of a mistake here and there, for the last 2 innings, 3 including this one, no runners scored.
Yeah, and you've had, again, the 2 errors in the second, here in the 4th as well. But as a pitcher, you can't let that bother you. You just need to go back out there and throw strikes.
You just got to do your job to the best of your ability, and that's a strikeout. Rose-Hulman holds on. 0 runs this inning. Still 4-2 Panthers.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through, from coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
Yes.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman softball. Today's broadcast is a copyright production of Rose-Hulman, RHIT, and the HCAC. Any use, reproduction, or distribution of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited.
Up to bat, number 2, Caitlin Sarkis.
Panthers up 4-2 on our Engineers. Rose-Hulman held them scoreless the last 3 innings.
Yeah, Sarvis got a base hit, 1 of 5 for Rose-Hulman back in the second inning.
Up to bat here, Sarvis already has a hit on the day. Decent contact, a little bit late on that as it flies wide right.
Well, advantage here would definitely be with Van Beek. So Sarvis again will have to shorten up, protect as a right-handed hitter. That's a good piece of hitting. Again, that was a pitch on the outside corner.
Van Beek's done a great job of keeping these batters on their toes. She does a great job of painting the zone. As we saw right there, she strikes out Sarvis.
Well, and Sarvis reached for that one. That was a pitch. It would undoubtedly would have been ball number 2 there. I think you need to come back and protect a little bit more. Look for that pitch somewhere across the plate or to the inside and not try to reach for that outside. And that was a great pitch by Van Beek.
Van Beek trying to keep this momentum up, as that'll be foul wide right, strike 1.
That is the 5th strikeout, all swinging now for Rose-Hulman.
That pitch high. Good eye by Coleman.
You got to start thinking here pretty soon. We're going to be close to crunch time, as we call it, in the last 3 innings coming up. Going to have to get that offense going here pretty quick if you're Rose-Hulman. And the key is if you want to win games like this, you've got to get to the bullpen. Odds are it's probably not going to happen. Van Beek may go no matter what, but you want to try to get her out of this game as quickly as you can now.
Van Beek's done a great job of holding off this team. Rose-Hulman just needs to watch out for these balls.
Well, one thing about it, too, you're hoping if you're Rose-Hulman, you keep Van Beek pitching behind in the count. It's another time she's 3-1, and then she misses, if I'm not mistaken. That's the first walk she has given up all night long, but that's what you want as a hitter.
I believe you're correct, and that was a good eye.
Up next to bat, number 4, Rosie Travioli.
Up to bat is Trevioli.
The bottom of your order now, if you look anywhere from 7, 8, 9, that's your first base runner for Rose-Hulman. Need some production at the bottom of the order. So far, they're 0 for 3, or should say 0 for 4 if you count Sarvis, who just came up moments ago. We'll go 6, 7, 8, 9, and the bottom of the order really hasn't produced yet here tonight.
So far, Jessica Newsom has had 2 hits at 2 at-bats. But other than that, everyone else has kind of been struggling a little bit.
Well, and the feeling on the other side is that you see the catcher, Foy, going out to talk with Van Beek. Her control isn't maybe what it was early, where she got 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. Since then, she's only had 1 strikeout. She gave up 3 runs, or I should say 3 hits and 2 runs in the 3rd inning. And now another half inning where Rose-Hulman has a base runner. Potentially, you're looking at the tying run right here.
So far, with only 1 out in the inning, Rose-Hulman needs to capitalize on this.
And I'm not so sure Van Beek doesn't say, you know what, I'm going to continue to nibble at that outside corner. I've had success with it. I'm going to keep going there. But I got to keep it down in the strike zone. That is one thing you've seen so far. Her pitches have had a tendency to ride up in the zone, and now she's down again, 3-1.
Absolutely. Her pitches have been right down the middle, just a little bit too high or a little bit too low, seemingly consistently. So that one's a little bit high right, and that's another batter off of a walk.
Yeah, so 2 in a row. Now if you flip the coin here for the Fighting Engineers, you've got to take advantage of the other team's walks time and time again. When you start walking people, they will come back and score, and you have only 1 out, so great opportunity here for the Fighting Engineers.
That one a good pitch, called for a strike.
And I think you need to be patient, too, if you're Pierce. You're the number 9 hitter, so let's make sure you get a good pitch to hit. Don't swing at anything, because this is a great opportunity for the offense.
Piers averages .378 on the season, shows she's used to making some decent contact.
Well, now the only issue is you're 0-2 in the count. and if I'm Van Beek here, I'm going to throw something out of the strike zone, see if you can get her swinging.
She does it right there, as that one's pretty high.
What she has been successful at, though, Van Beek, is not that pitch. No hitter yet has gone after that one. It's generally been on the outside corner where it appears to be a strike. And she went there again. And a good disciplined hitting there by Pierce not to bait on that one.
I think she's listening to you.
Yeah, but now be careful here, 2-2. You're still looking for something in the strike zone, something that you're comfortable with as a hitter, and try to drive it.
Good hit right to the shortstop. She's not able to collect it.
Oh.
And a runner's going home from third. And runners at second and third will stay, as that's a scoring off of an error.
Yeah, you know what? And one thing about Bailey, it's short. She tried to backhand it, and then she came up early. Nothing is hurt if she goes ahead and makes a clean play. It's short. She probably isn't going to get anybody. But you don't turn around and throw it, and then you throw it away. You basically committed 2 errors, in a sense, in one play by not only not fielding it cleanly, but then trying to get the runner at first. She was never going to get the runner down to first base. So now Rose-Hulman taking advantage of errors on the other side.
Right, you just got to shut that play down as soon as you can, and we saw the outcome of that. An excellent position for the Fighting Engineers, as they've got a runner at third and second.
Well, there's advantage here, too, that you could make this a really big inning. You only have 1 out. You have the top of the order. Hodges has been through it twice, got a base hit and a run scored in the third. Dangerous hitter, and you got runners at second and third. The key is here for Hodges, if I get it the right side somehow, even if I get a sacrifice fly and get my runner in, that's the key to try to tie this game.
Absolutely. And on deck is Jessica Newsom, who, as we said, has found a lot of success this game. 2 for 2 at bat. That hit right to third, and she'll be out at first.
Yeah, it's a great play down to third. Now we did a good job looking the runner back, made a strike to first base. And on the other side, I think Hodges, I would rather see her take a pitch or two, knowing that Van Beek has struggled a little bit with 2 walks in this half inning, and make her throw a pitch or two before I take a swing at one of those pitches. And again, I would try to drive it to the right side.
1 out to give for Rose-Hulman. And they're in such good position right now. This is the prime opportunity for them to tie this game.
You know, but on the other side, if I'm Van Beek and I only give up 1 and I leave those 2 runners at second and third, especially after I gave up 2 walks and an error in this half inning, to give up 1, I will take it.
Absolutely. She's in quite a hole right now. Any win she'll take. That pitch high right. A lot of weight on Newsom's shoulders right now. Swing and a miss. Just a little late on that one.
You know, if I'm Van Beek, I may come right back with another fastball. You saw Newsom had a difficult time catching up with it, though she has a couple of hits today. That fastball got right by her, and it did it quickly.
That one was fast. Just a little bit outside. And a good eye from Newsom.
Just don't give up a mistake here if you're Van Beek.
Full count, 2 outs.
There's nothing hurt if she walks her at this stage, because you'll focus on Smith next.
That one gets batted in, and another error from the shortstop area. Rose-Hulman ties the game at 4. Still 2 outs.
Next to bat, number 1, Aubrey Smith.
Well, I'll tell you what, third baseman, now you see it right there, was a pitch out over the plate. But again, you just got to do a better job of fielding the ball. And when you don't, you're going to give up runs. And that's exactly what is happening on both sides here in this one. for two teams that are battling, or at least trying to battle their way into a potential playoff spot, I'm a little surprised by how many errors we have seen so far here tonight.
Low roller to second base rather, and that'll be out. Panthers 4, Engineers 4. Engineers tie it up in the fourth.
Your kid's Friday night touchdown. Just Wit HD on Roku. IndianaSRN is bringing Central Indiana high school sports right to your living room in crystal clear quality. With over 350 live contests streaming each year, from football under the lights to basketball buzzer beaters, we're putting local athletes in the spotlight. Search IndianaSRN on your Roku device today and never miss a moment of hometown glory.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
We are back at Rose-Hulman on RHIT.TV. Last inning, the Engineers were able to catch up, get the score back to 4-4 off of what was one of many errors we've seen this game. As the game's up to 6 errors.
Well, and I'm not so sure that if you don't mark them down as official errors, that you don't put somewhere in your book and say that could have been an error.
Yeah.
Because there have been some misplays here tonight that have cost both teams. I guess it's fitting that we're still 4-4.
That one hit into the Panthers' dugout. Seems that the nerves of the pressure is getting to both teams, as both teams desperately need 2 wins here today.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. You're 34 games in. This is game 35. And I understand what's on the line to try to get in. And there's no guarantee, even if you do win both these games, you're going to get in. As we said, you're going to have to get some help. And experience tells you that when you're starting to rely on somebody else to help you, they don't mind watching you on the outside.
Third baseman crept up a little in a perfect spot to make the play, gets her out at first.
My point being this, you're 35 games in, you shouldn't be feeling a whole lot of pressure and all the other. You just need to go out and play.
Should probably go down there and give them a little pep talk for both teams.
Well, I would imagine both coaches have already done that. I know they know the message coming in. They're both disappointed. They've had the seasons that they've had, but you still have a chance, and that's the goal, get into the tournament.
Nisi Reyna up to bat. Good contact out to right field, but that'll be foul.
So you're essentially 0-0 again. Hanover has offensively gone back to struggling. We talked about that early. Their OPS is only .694. They're not going to sting the softball a lot. They just don't hit well. So the key is now, if they put it in play, just make sure you get the outs. I mean, you look up and down their numbers. There's just nothing in their lineup that scares you. I mean, their on-base percentage is less than 35%, so they don't get on base a lot. You're only averaging 4 runs a game and 7 hits. Power-wise, they only have 5 home runs the whole year. So even the outfielders know that they can generally play a little bit more shallow than other teams you might play in the conference. And their slugging percentage is .348. So again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. There's just nothing about their lineup that is going to scare you from a hitting standpoint.
Reyna hits it straight to first, and that'll be the second out. You mentioned power. That one didn't seem to move.
Well, your number 2 hitter generally is going to have a whole lot of power anyway. I think right now that Hanover, again, they got help. Remember that first inning? They got help. A couple of miscues here there by Rose-Hulman. Otherwise, they generally are not going to get 4 runs in a half inning.
That is rare, yes, and they're probably still banking on some more mistakes. That one's called foul.
Well, they may be banking on a few mistakes, but the problem is, I think as this game gets, again, later, we're coming down to the last couple of innings, I don't think Rose-Hulman is going to make those kind of mistakes they made early. So I wouldn't count on that. You're going to have to find a way to generate your offense. And it was those mistakes, those base running errors that we talked about that Hanover committed in that second and third innings that may come back to bite them here in the end.
And the Fighting Engineers have the right side of the momentum. That's a good hit out past second. Center fielder is able to make the catch and shut the runner down at first.
So 2-out base hit by Bailey. Now you have your cleanup hitter who had a double back in the first inning, 1 for 2. Left-hander against a right-hander. So here's an opportunity now for a Fulton. Try to pull this ball to the right side if you can.
Fulton's got 1 hit today. That one sent straight at us.
Well, generally, when you have a left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher, advantage hitter, especially if you're looking at somebody in the number 4 hole. Lefties, or if you're opposite, you go left-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter, you generally see the ball coming off the hand better.
That one a little low. One count. Fulton contact to the shortstop, not able to reach. And that'll be a base hit, sending a runner to second.
Yeah, Fulton did a nice job, pitch on the outside corner. Able to reach out, go with the pitch. And if she ends up pulling that ball, she probably would ground out to the second baseman. But you see it right there. Pitch on the outside portion of the plate, able to take it to the left side, and now they have a chance to get something here in this half inning. Now the key is, if you're Hanover, now he has a base hit back in the 4th inning. Don't run yourself out of this half inning.
Absolutely. We saw that earlier. That one high out. Second baseman makes the catch, and that'll end the inning.
No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. Rose-Hulman, Jaden Winkler,
Rose-Hulman, or that'll end the top of the inning. Panthers 4, Engineers 4.
When I was growing up, I had pretty good math skills, and I had a high interest in science. My mother's father was an engineer. Although I never really knew him, I knew of him. So the option of being an engineer was always exciting to me. And as I progressed through high school, one of the things that really stuck out to me, our football training room in high school had a Rose-Hulman football poster. As I got closer to making a decision, I learned a lot about Rose, and the appealing thing to me was that it was going to be a small setting. I would maybe have an opportunity to play football, which I knew I wasn't going to be a professional football player, but the team association, the friendships, the camaraderie had always been important to me.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman on RHIT.TV. We just saw another scoreless inning for the Panthers as Rose-Hulman tied the game up recently. It's 4-4. Rose-Hulman looking to build off some momentum they had in the last 2 innings, scoring 2 apiece. And the Panthers haven't had a run since the first inning.
Yeah, here I think if you're Rose-Hulman, get a run here or more. I'll always take more.
Right.
And then really put the pressure back on Van Beek and Hanover because, again, offensively, they don't do a whole lot. I think the 4 runs they got might be it. They're having a difficult time manufacturing runs, so I would like to if I just get 1 here, then things kind of switch again for Hanover. They're going to have to produce a lot here in the last 2 innings.
Winkler up to bat, watches that one go low. Rose-Hulman's batting woes early on have been aided by a couple errors in the last 2 innings.
Well, I think they're at the luxury now that they're going to wait on Van Beek because she has been in trouble the last couple of innings. She's had a difficult time finding the strike zone, and when you fall behind, and she tried to go off speed right there, and now all of a sudden you're down 3-0, you keep pitching behind at 3-1, 3-0, and the hitters are going to make you throw strikes. And the more pitches you throw, the more trouble sometimes you have as a pitcher getting it across the plate.
And Van Beek was seeing success earlier with the balls she was throwing, as that one sent to the shortstop and gets her out at first. But the batters are reading her a lot better.
Well, they are, and again, when you look at the middle of the order to the bottom of the order, somewhere here Rose-Hulman needs to get this offense rolling. They did have the couple of walks in the 4th that scored runs, but a lot of that has happened on the other side, the mistakes that Hanover has made. Want to start stinging the stinging the softball. Let's start spraying this thing all over the place where Van Beek can't think, well, listen, I'll throw to the outside. They'll just ground it out easily on the right side. Got to drive that ball. Get this offense rolling here where you have a really big inning.
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity to kind of punctuate the momentum that you've been having and get a lead for the first time this game.
Well, and when you look at Winkler, Shear, Sarvis, that's number 4, 5, and 6 in the order. You expect these type hitters to be your run producers. They're the ones that generally drive in runs. Now, it certainly helps to have your 1, 2, and 3 on base, but these players right here still, in fact, you look at the numbers, very good numbers with these hitters.
That one hit right back to the pitcher. She gets the runner out at first. Shear's still unsuccessful at the plate, 0-for-3. Up to bat is Caitlin Sarvis.
Well, Van Beek is good, again, when you're going to take another look at it, when she's not pitching behind in the count. When she's behind in the count, that's where she struggles. I think it's important for her to get out in front quickly. And if she can get ahead 0-2, 1-2, she's a different pitcher than when you see her fall down 2-1, and then she's trying to be a little bit fine and to go to that outside pitch that she's had success with. But if she doesn't get it, then all of a sudden you're down 3-1 again.
First pitch was fouled right. Second pitch was fouled right. So that's an 0-2 count. And like you said, this is exactly where Van Beek shines. Just needs to make the batter make a mistake.
Well, and here's where you play a little guessing game. You're down 0-2. Where am I going to throw the ball here? And she has generally gone right there every time. Now, as a hitter, you know that. You've already been through the lineup for the 3rd time. So I know if I'm down 0-2, she has gone to the outside the majority of the time. But I can't watch it go by because if it catches the outside corner of the plate, I'm done. So I've got to fight it off, just like what Sarvis did right there to stay alive for another day.
Another pitch right side.
Well, and she did the same thing. I'm going to try to get you at 0-2. I'm going to try to get you to swing at a pitch outside the strike zone. But you got to be very careful and protective, be able to get to the outside portion of that plate with your bat.
Great hit out right field, and that'll be fair as it reaches the fence. She's rounding to third, and she'll stay put there for a triple.
And there is your go-ahead run. That's a good piece of hitting by Sarvis. A pitch again that was on the outside half of the plate, able to step through and drive it down the line. Just an excellent job by Sarvis.
Best hit we've seen all day. And it couldn't have come at a better time as the Engineers are gearing up to take the lead.
Now, I would venture to say, I think, and again, I don't know what Corey Collinsworth, what her argument might be here, but the field umpire is the one who watches the base runner, and I don't know if she thought, did she miss first base? Did she miss second base? What it might have been. It doesn't look like there's going to be an appeal of any kind here, but a great opportunity now for Coleman to drive in the go-ahead run.
2 outs here, so she cannot make a mistake if they're looking to capitalize here at the bottom of the 5th. Great pitch, top right corner.
Same thing for Coleman. Watch now anything on the outside half of the plate. If I can drive it to right field, that's the key. There you go.
Another solid contact to the right field, and that gives Rose-Hulman their first lead of the night.
And again, just another good piece of hitting there by Coleman. You had back-to-back pitches on the outside half. You drive them to the right side.
Up to bat is Trevioli. .411 batting average.
Now, if you look back and you think about the strikeouts, again, they've been swinging strikeouts all night long for Rose-Hulman. They weren't taking those pitches on the outside and being able to contact. Well, that has changed. Rose-Hulman has done a nice job hitting and adjusting to that outside pitch where Van Beek thought she was going to maybe get these pitches by these hitters. Well, it's not happening anymore.
Good eye by Trevioli. 3-0 count. A lot of room to work with here. Van Beek sends it right down the middle.
Well, and that was clearly take all the way by Trevioli. But now you still have a chance here to drive a pitch somewhere around the plate.
And that'll send her to first. 2 runners on, 2 outs.
What's encouraging here for the Fighting Engineers is this is all happening with 2 outs in this half inning. When you see that time and time again, whether it be baseball or softball, you get those 2 quick outs like what Van Beek has done, then all of a sudden the floodgates open. And this is still a great opportunity for your number 9 hitter in Piers. Get a base hit again. Look for that outside pitch. That's where we have seen Van Beek go time and time again. Very rarely does she come inside. It's always been to the outside, so you know that as a hitter to look for that pitch.
Up next to bat, number 18, Lucille Pierce.
That's exactly right. I don't know if I've seen more than 1 inside ball.
Very rare. When we talk about being disciplined as a hitter, too, when you know a pitcher is struggling, and we saw that maybe, I think it was in the 4th inning, don't swing at that first pitch. Make her throw you a couple of pitches. That was a good pitch to the outside. Make her throw you a couple of pitches so you kind of know where her pattern is going to be on your 3rd time around.
Appears being a little bit too patient, though. Seeing each one fly past. Good contact there, but a little bit too far right.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take a hitter that is patient over a hitter that gets so anxious that you swing at that first pitch. And unless you're a first pitch hitter and you're really good at it, I'll take it. But a lot of times you don't see that in hitters.
You're absolutely right. 0-2 count. That one sent high, wide right. Just foul.
I think the idea is good again by Piers. She has seen the success they have had between Sarvis and Coleman. Perhaps wait on a pitch and try to take it to the right side. Unless you get that automatic pitch on the half outside, go ahead and drive it that way.
That one of the rare inside balls that we've seen today.
Yeah, that was almost too good to let go by. Be really careful if she comes back inside again, but you can pull it down the line too.
1-2 count. Caught it at near the handle of the barrel. And that's a decent inning for the Engineers. Engineers leading 5-4.
No errors and 2 left on base. Go for Hanover, Claire King, Allie Chris, and Maddie Kamer.
What are you looking for?
For my
the thought process and the training on how to think about things, I think, has been more valuable than the degree in my career. But I really feel like Rose taught me just the structure of how to think well. That structure and that discipline has been something you can apply even when it's not to what is kind of a stereotypical engineering problem. That's been, I feel, a real benefit.
Hey sports fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman on RHIT.TV. Last 3 innings have been all you can ask for the Engineers, as they've scored 5 runs in the last 3 innings and held the Panthers scoreless as that one flies right. And that's going to be a pop out.
Well, in Hanover now down to their final 5 outs. And again, their offense has been stagnant. They've had, 2 runners in scoring position since they scored 4 in the first. And since that time, they've had 4 hits as well.
Shortstop bobbles it a little bit, but she's not going to make the same mistake as she did earlier. Cleans that one up and gets the runner out at first.
Well, I'll go back to Allie Christ. When you talk about being a little more patient as a hitter, now all of a sudden you find yourself down 1 run instead of up 4 runs. I'd still like to be patient if I'm Allie Christ and I'm 0 for 2. Maybe see a couple of extra pitches by Thering.
Maddie Kamer up to bat. Watches that one fly by for a strike. Completely different ball game than it was 3 innings ago.
And Thering knows that. And her defense has settled down a little bit more, and she's been able to throw strikes and get outs.
That one out to center field. Second baseman takes a step back and grabs it. And that's a quick top of the 6th. Score still 5-4, Fighting Engineers.
Independent studies, I came across the IndyDining.com domain name, and so I built kind of this restaurant listing platform that was a kind of Yelp before Yelp was really popular. So after graduation, I continued work on Indy Dining. I ended up meeting a CEO of a company called FormStack, and from that experience, I ended up starting another business. I built out the company, and then we merged companies again with FormStack. And I took some time off after selling that business, and I realized at my core I just enjoy like tinkering and building things. I started this venture studio where we kind of come up with ideas and we build them out, and then they kind of run with them. I'm behind the scenes kind of just doing what I really enjoy is building those products.
Say it.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman on RHIT.TV. Quick top of the 6th as it went 3 up, 3 down, and the Engineers are batting. Up to bat will be the top of the lineup, Emily Hodges.
Well, here's the key now. Get an insurance run. Give yourself a little cushion going into the 7th. But you just saw how this game changed when you settle down defensively and you get outs and don't let the other team have opportunities. You see what happens.
First pitch strike. Getting a little windy here.
Yeah, if you're left-handed hitter, it's great because the wind is blowing from left to right. But we don't have a ton of left-handed hitters here today. And it's not like either one of these two teams are not power hitters, so that is not something that you're really going to have to worry too much about.
That one high right, lost by the catcher.
Well, Van Beek, when she has missed, many times we talked about missing high. And you don't mind that too much unless you have somebody that loves those high pitches, but Rose-Hulman has not bit on any of those so far tonight.
Chops that one down, and she'll be out at first.
Yeah, great play there by Nowie down at third. Get that first out. You're top of the order. One thing, if you're Hanover, you don't want to give up any more runs.
Jessica Newsom up next. 3 at-bats, 3 hits today. Potential for 4 as that one flies out for a home run. She didn't know it. She stopped at second. Whole team's crowding around for her. And that's exactly what you need if you're Rose-Hulman.
Well, I just talked about neither team having a whole ton of power, and then all of a sudden Newsom in the 2-hole gets this one in the air. And the way that the wind is blowing, and I don't think it would have mattered either way because she got every bit of that one. But Newsom, there is that cushion you need now, a 2-run going into the next half inning.
Newsom's been fantastic, 3 for 3 with a home run.
Newsom had a great series, including a home run down at Berea. She went 3 for 4 in Game 1 with 4 runs driven in. In Game 2, she came back 3 for 4 and drove in 3 more runs. So if anybody is swinging a hot bat, it is Newsom, who also has 3 hits today.
Brings the score up to 6-4 Engineers. And Rose-Hulman has scored in each time in the last 4 innings. That one hit to the shortstop. Gets the out at first. 2 outs.
Boy, Newsom, I'll tell you what, when you think about the way she has finished off this season, I mean, her OPS has gone up to a leading 1.078. That is her 8th home run of the season. She has a slugging percentage almost at .650. I mean, her number has just been crazy over the last several games.
She's an all-star on this team.
Man. Well, those numbers, by the way, will go up. When you start checking those live stats, those numbers will go up after tonight, too.
Two strikes, no balls.
She almost got that thing completely over the garbage bag there in center field.
Yeah, hit about center of it, which is a good 10 feet up off the ground still. And Van Beek strikes her out. That'll be the end of the inning. Engineers get a home run there, 6-4.
1 hit, no errors, and none left on base. Do it for Hanover, Sydney Floyd, Addison Smith, and Nisi Raymond.
Been interested in starting business. From the early lemonade stand as a kid to like starting my own software development website business in high school, kind of turned me on to like computers and ultimately engineering. My name's Jeremy Clark. I graduated in 2009 with a software engineering and computer science degree, and currently am CEO of Plainsight Ventures. I was really interested in entrepreneurship, but I took it to the next level. And eventually, I was able to use those relationships with those professors to kind of do a lot of independent studies my last year at Rose. Once you kind of figure out, what you want to do and what you're passionate about, you can kind of chart your own path. And from that experience, I ended up starting another business, and I realized at my core, I just enjoy like tinkering and building things.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman softball on RHIT.TV. Last inning, we saw the first home run of the night out of Jessica Newsom. She's 4 for 4. Panthers looking to come back now after they're now down 2 after leading 4-0 for 2 innings, well, 2.5.
And Lily Cunningham will be hitting. She's at a Cecina High School in Indianapolis. She'll be pinch hitting for Sydney Foy.
She gets the hit to the shortstop. Not able to make the play to first. First baseman got caught having to jump a little bit for that ball.
Well, another error by Hodges. That'll be the 5th by the Fighting Engineers. And really, she just take your time. You knew that Cunningham did not have great speed down the line, and she's going to be a courtesy runner down to first. You really just had to take your time and get the out.
Pinch hitter got her roll in, did her job, got a runner at first.
And Foy will be back in the lineup down at first base.
Addison Smith up to bat, top of the lineup. And she's just running out of the batter's box each swing.
Well, I mean, what you're looking at is she is very good as a leadoff hitter, as a slap hitter.
And she makes contact there. That one drops down in the outfield. No one able to get there in time, and she gets on base.
That's a good piece of hitting by Smith. Again, when you step out of the box like that as a slap hitter, you're just looking to put it in play and hit it where nobody could get to it. And you saw the replay right there. You had the outfielder Coleman playing relatively deep. Hodges coming in a little bit, anticipating a ground ball at that stage. But now, if you're Hanover feeling pretty good here, because now you have to go ahead run at the plate. And
catcher makes the play there. Not able to get to second in time, but a good heads-up play there.
Well, Raina, her main job was to get the ball down. You want to sacrifice the 2 runners, and the pitch was up in the strike zone. If it's up in the strike zone, you need to lay off and get another one to try to bunt. That was not executed well by Raina.
First pitch a little low right.
Now, this side, if I'm Rose-Hulman, again, just worry about the lead runner at this stage, because bottom line is that's the only thing that matters. You're going to potentially get the out at third. Don't rush yourself and try to get a double play to end this ball game. Just try to get the easiest out you can, whether it be at third, at second, or down at first. Doesn't really matter.
3-0 count.
Bailey's been on all 3 times. Got to be careful. A couple of base hits here tonight as well.
And that'll send her to first. Full.
We're not going to make it easy, are we?
Now batting, number 12, Ashley Fulton.
Why would we?
Well, it's down now for Thering. Just throw strikes, and now you're going to get a visit. I think that's what it is. Listen, just throw strikes. Now you got to force at any base, which is certainly a positive. The runner at third means nothing. The runner at second does. That is the tying run. But you need to get the second out and then worry about it from there. But the thing is, you got to be clean. Now we're going to go back to what we talked about. When Cunningham got on first base. It was relatively a very routine play there for Hodges. Ends up throwing it wide. You get a runner on, and all of a sudden the bases are loaded. Coach has to come out and talk to him as Brian Shear. Of course, he's been around a long time. His 24th season. He's probably seen every scenario there's been in 24 seasons, but you don't want to give Hanover any more opportunities here in this 7th inning.
And Hanover's in prime position right now. 3 on base, bases loaded.
And Fulton, by the way, has 2 of their 8 hits.
That one bottom left. And like you said earlier, whenever there's a left-handed batter here, certainly gives you the upper hand against a right-handed pitcher. This is not what you want to see if you're pitching against this. Another ball.
Now, again, from Thering's point of view here, you're down 2-0. You have given a great opportunity here for Fulton. Yeah, I would imagine if she sees anything that she likes, she's going to try to drive this ball.
That one wide left. Foul ball. 2-1 count.
Now still advantage Fulton, because you don't want to go 3-1, and the last thing you want to do is go 3-1 and then think, oh my, now we potentially could walk in a run if we end up walking Fulton. So you need a strike right here.
That one right to first, sends it home. Able to get the out.
Yeah, great play, though it was almost a bang-bang play, but a great play by Winkler at first. So now you got your second out. Again, runner third means nothing. Just get the force at any base.
Up next to bat, number 5, Carson Nally.
Bases still loaded. Fighting Engineers just trying to protect home plate at this point. Another good contact, but foul right.
Well, and you go back to Thering again, and listen, she got the out. She got Fulton, the one that she needed right there in a tough situation in a 2-1 count. Now the idea is you don't have to strike this one out. Just get her to make contact and get this final out. And now you're really ahead at 0-2.
Engineers in the first good position they've seen themselves in what seems like all inning.
Now, don't mind a waste pitch here. You're 0-2. If you get something, just don't let her have the ability to stretch those arms and drive this ball.
First base able to make the play and end the game. Great play there. Engineers win the first of 2.
Well, it was a good win despite not playing really well. And sometimes that happens. And it was an ugly game, I think, on both sides. You think about it, combined 7 errors. There were some base running mistakes. Not the kind of game that you would hope. But the bottom line is you get the win. Rose now puts that pressure back on Hanover for Game 2. I think, and I thought this earlier, the team that won this first game, the other one's probably gone for good. I don't think it really matters, even if they split. Though Rose still wants to win this second game and give themselves a chance. You got it 4-0, but you couldn't hold on because your offense isn't that good. And that's just the way Hanover's season has been. They just cannot generate enough offense, and odds are they probably wouldn't have had 4 runs in the first inning anyway, other than a couple of miscues for Rose-Hulman. But now you think about Game 2, put this one behind you, and hopefully you'll play better in the second game.
Right. If it weren't for the 7 total errors committed, it would be a lot different of a game, but Engineers able to rally back from a 4-0 deficit, win the game 6-4.
We will be back in about, I would say, 25 minutes or so, 30 minutes. Is that about the break? 30 minutes with Game 2 right here on RHIT.TV.
number 10, Jaden Winkler. Batting fifth on third base, number 12, Abigail Shearer. Batting sixth on second base, number
Back once again here at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, game 2 of our doubleheader after the Fighting Engineers rally from a 4-0 deficit to win game 1. Second game, Rose-Hulman now 5-10 in the HCAC. Hanover, they are 3-12 in conference play. Softball on RHIT.TV brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown John Deere dealer since 1955. 5 Central Indiana locations. Reynolds meets all your equipment, parts, and service needs. Boilermaker Local 374, representing skilled workers across Indiana. Discover the Boilermaker advantage with Local 374. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partners since 1986. Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893, thanks to generous, caring individuals like you. Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. LifeWise Academy. LifeWise Academy brings Bible education to public school students during school hours. Learn more at lifewise.org. LIUNA, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. And the IndianaSRN sports page, sports coverage, border to border, coast to coast, your source for high school, college, and pro sports coverage. Troy Dergowski, Luke Burton with you here tonight, game 2. Game 1 was not pretty. I don't think there's any doubt about that whatsoever, but for the Fighting Engineers, after falling down 4-0, they battle back and get the win. They're still mathematically alive for a playoff spot in the HCAC next week.
If you're the Panthers right now, you're feeling not so great after only having one decent inning. We'll say that.
Yeah.
And if you're the Engineers, you're kind of the opposite, where you had a bit of a fluky start to the game, allowing 4 runs off a couple errors there. But after that, they cleaned up a lot, is how I'll put it. They didn't allow a single run after that. They put up runs consistently, inning after inning. They were making good contact with the ball. And we can't forget Jessica Newsom's home run there in the 5th inning, I believe. And after that, it was just a matter of holding on to the lead, which they were able to do after a little bit of a scare there at the end. But the Engineers are sitting pretty good here. They desperately needed that win, and they were able to get it.
Game 2, and we'll talk about the 2 pitchers as we go, but the bottom line is Rose-Hulman is still alive, and that's what they were counting on, is to get that win and now play Game 2. And I mentioned to you in Game 1, Hanover's pretty much mathematically out of this at this stage. It'd take a miracle for them to get in after that loss because there's so many games back. But they still would like to be a spoiler in Game 2 and maybe knock Rose-Hulman out of their opportunity to get into the tournament as well.
Yeah, getting a win out of spite might feel pretty good for the Panthers, even though they are pretty close to elimination. We mentioned last game that there's a lot of other teams that these 2 teams were relying on before the game. Now the Engineers are in a much better position getting that win. And, being able to potentially knock out the Engineers by the Panthers would be a little bit of sweet revenge that you don't often get to see in a lot of sports, where, I mean, these ladies have to do doubleheaders every day, and this one, or every game is a doubleheader, and this one they have a chance to knock each other out of the tournament.
We get an opportunity. We're going to try to check the scoreboard and see who else has won tonight. we already know 3 teams are in. Those are the top 3, and it's just a matter then of how the seeding is going to go. I don't know about you, but being on the outside, just on that edge trying to get in, has got to be a little bit nerve-wracking. You never know what's going to happen once you get in, for sure. Odds are probably not good if you're the number 6 seed because you got to play so many games in so many days. And generally in softball, it's a little bit easier than in baseball. You just don't have enough pitching a lot of times in baseball to get that done. But you never know. That's why you play those games, and everything will be up in Kokomo, baseball and softball. Just a matter of getting in. That's the key.
It's probably incredibly stressful for these ladies, but I look over at the dugout, and they're all smiles after that first win. Seems like the stress level's a little lowered after that first game.
By the way, here is, in fact, the only game that was played. In fact, this is the only doubleheader today. And Rose-Hulman again wins the first game 6-4. This is what we're looking at coming up tomorrow. And these will be some big games. Now, the Manchester game against Kalamazoo really doesn't matter. That's a non-conference matchup. But here's the one we're watching. Transylvania Franklin, they'll play at 3 o'clock. Earlham and Manchester, they play at 3:30, and then those 2 teams will play again. Those are your top teams in the HCAC. So you can see how that is all going to battle out on Thursday, and I'm looking forward to watching. I think we'll all be doing a little bit of scoreboard watching coming up on Thursday as well.
I'm sure these ladies will be watching closely as the rest of their season kind of relies on these few games coming up.
Well, Hanover is going to have to find a way in Game 2 to get rolling again. I know that it's a disappointment, again, that they lost Game 1. And sometimes when you're having a rough season like they are having, it is difficult to get yourself motivated to get back out there and do it again. But that's what it's all about. Now, they're, again, going to try to play spoiler here in game number 2. They will go as their pitcher, Ashley Fulton. She'll get the start today for Hanover in game 2. On the other side, Aubrey Smith will be going for Rose-Hulman. Now, Aubrey Smith will be coming in team leading, best 8 wins. She's 8-9 with an ERA 4.46. She is a strikeout pitcher, 62 strikeouts, but a tendency at times to walk hitters with 38 on this season. So she's going to find a way to make sure that she doesn't allow a whole lot of walks in game number 2. You and I talked about that in game 1. We saw you walk hitters, they come back and score runs.
We saw that a lot last game. There was a little bit of a section there where it's just walk after walk, and she wasn't able to find the strike zone as much as she would have. Maybe she was trying to play a little bit of mind games with her batters. But, yeah, she's going to definitely want to clean that up a little bit. And another thing that we're going to be looking at for sure is how much the shortstop area has cleaned up for both teams. Both teams found a little bit of struggles, multiple errors on both sides. It's really going to be a matchup of who can clean up better.
All right, we'll come back. First pitch is coming up right here on RHIT.TV.
I'm Barry Schneider. I'm the president and chief operating officer of Steel Dynamics Incorporated. Steel Dynamics is the largest recycling company in the United States. Faculty here is here to teach. You're not a bother, you're a purpose, but you can't be shy about asking. That's where you figure out I can only be better if I'm willing to accept the help and ask for it. Year in, year out, the caliber of graduates that comes out of Rose-Hulman stands above because this is a challenging environment. But it's a challenging environment that's designed to help us be successful. And that, again, is the small school approach where the faculty is committed to your education. You are the purpose the school's here. Rose-Hulman is and will always be a special place for me because of the people that I've shared the experience of being here with. Together, we are stronger.
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman, a cool night here in Terre Haute as we get ready for game number 2. The only action going on in the HCACs we mentioned moments ago, and we're ready to go, and we'll see the right-hander again going for the Fighting Engineers. We mentioned her numbers as Aubrey Smith. I think that when you look at game 1 and the way that Thering threw, overall, I think she threw extremely well. And the other standpoint is, again, defensively behind her, you commit 5 errors in most games, you're probably not going to win, but nonetheless, it's a good gamble for Rose-Hulman to throw her and gain consistent pitcher, and I think that's what they'll be counting on, just throw strikes in game number 2.
They're going to look to really speed up this game. They're going to probably try and get it over with as quickly as possible. Get every batter out. I know that sounds obvious, but whenever you're in a position right here where you just won the last game, you're sitting in a better position than you were before that first game started in terms of your seeding, and you're just trying to win this one, get it out of the way, and be in the best possible position you can. They're just going to try and really get this over with as quickly as possible.
Well, Smith against Smith as Addison Smith will step to the plate. The first pitch is high for a ball. We are underway in game 2. Addison, a couple of base hits in the first game and a run scored. She was almost made it a comeback in the 7th inning of game number 1. They got the bases loaded. Speaking of Hanover, next pitch is outside, ball 2.
That 7th inning for Hanover was about as close as you can get to actually making the comeback there, because they were down 2 runs, had bases loaded, I believe 1 out at one point during that.
Yeah.
So they were in a pretty good position to bring the game back, but good pitching from the Engineers kept the game at bay.
3-0 here to Smith. That pitch caught the outside corner for strike 1. We mentioned a little bit ago that when you talk about Aubrey Smith, she has a tendency to walk. Here's a fly ball into right field. Trivioli going back on it, drops this one, and the errors continue. Into second base is Smith. And an error by Trivioli.
It's deja vu from the start of last game where I believe the first hitter, first or second, was an instant error and able to get on base. Right here, this one was for 2.
Well, that's a routine fly ball. Nisi Reyna will step to the plate. 1 for 4 in game 1 and a run scored. And the first pitch in there for a strike. So now 6 errors in the 2 games for Rose-Hulman.
Reyna a little chilly, rocking the sweater.
Pitches outside for a ball. Thing is about that fly ball to right field, I could see it maybe if it were more of a line drive and maybe the sun a little bit, but too routine.
Yeah, that's a play that's got to be made, and I'm sure they're already not happy with themselves.
2 balls and a strike. Reyna had a base hit in that first inning in which Hanover scored 4 runs. The pitch on the way. This is a little looper toward the shortstop. Hodges, their throw to first. Runner advances to third. There's 1 away.
I'm sure they're wishing they got that first out a little earlier. The runner's able to get to third. And this could be the same or similar start that we saw last game, where the Panthers were just lucking out constantly.
Morgan Bailey on base all 4 times in game 1, including a base hit in the 3rd and a base hit in the 5th inning. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss. Bailey, a freshman out of Pickerington, Ohio. Chance to drive in the game's first run, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Addison Smith down at third base. Off-speed pitch inside, 2 balls and a strike. Coleman, Piers, and Travioli in the outfield, left to right. Shears at third, Hodges at short, Sarvitz at second, and Winkler's at first. And there's a called strike. Newsom behind the plate in game 2 once again. And the count is even at 2-2.
Aubrey Smith really found her groove there in the second half of last game, not allowing a single run.
Big strikeout there, and another off-speed pitch by Smith, and Bailey strikes out. Here's Fulton.
Up next to bat,
Fulton,
number 12,
2 base hits in game 1, including a double in the first inning. There's a called strike.
Yeah, Fulton was finding a lot of success at the bat last game, hoping to bring that over for this one.
Again, one of the rare left-handed hitters we have seen in either lineup. Check swing down the line, and on the run is Travioli to make the catch. Hanover leaves a runner on base after half inning of play. No score.
At the end of the top of the first, there were no runs, no.
Tonight's game, copyright production of IndianaSRN, RHIT.TV, and the HCAC, and the use, reproduction, distribution, audio, or video without the express written permission of those entities is strictly prohibited. Hodges, Newsom, Smith here in the bottom of inning number 1, and they'll be facing the left-hander. Ashley Fulton on the season, 3-10. An ERA of 7.48, 16 strikeouts, 33 walks. Opposing teams hitting her at a 364 clip.
I'm sure she's looking to use this game to kind of boost those stats a little bit if she can. But as a left-handed pitcher, I'm sure it's a little bit difficult against a predominantly right-handed team.
And the first pitch in there for a called strike. Hodges 1 for 4 runs scored in game 1. Fulton out of Hanover, playing in her hometown at a Southwestern high school. That one hit to the screen, and quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Corey Collinsworth, the head coach at Hanover in her 9th season. Brian Shear in his 24th year here at Rose-Hulman. The 0-2 pitch, hit foul.
Pitcher change from last match as Van Beek is no longer on the mound, and she was giving these ladies a little bit of trouble, especially when up in the count. We'll see how well Fulton's able to perform here.
Another one hit foul by Hodges. Hanover will play Berea the last 2 games of the year coming up Saturday in their doubleheader. This one hit to the right side, base hit. So Hodges going the opposite way, gets her second hit of the night. That'll bring up Newsom. Newsom about as hot as you can get here in the HCAC. 3 hits in the first game, including that towering home run in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Newsom couldn't do anything wrong last match. And that home run was just the cake on the, or the cherry on the cake.
Well, she's had now 3 straight games in which she has driven in 3 runs and has had 3 hits. The 0-1 pitch hit well into center field. Smith going back on it will make the catch.
Thought there was a chance we had another one there. Just about 15 feet short, but she's feeling good on her contact. She's reading these pitches perfectly.
Aubrey Smith.
Here's Aubrey Smith, 0 for 4 in the first game. See if they'll send Hodges at some point for the Fighting Engineers. Check swing foul. You mentioned a little bit ago one of the players there for Hanover with a jacket on. Things going to be a little bit cool tonight. By the time we're done, we might be heading into the 40s. There's a called strike. By the way, we want to remind you that we will be in Kokomo for both the baseball and softball tournaments coming up next week. Pitch is high and outside.
Any idea why they picked Kokomo?
First off, facilities.
Perfect.
Not a bad centralized location in a lot of ways. Ground ball right side, could be two. They'll just get one. Is Kristen able to turn the double play? So Hodges down to second base. Here's Winkler. And that's a facility for softball is brand new at the high school. $30 million, somewhere around what you get paid.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
They're just missing a couple zeros there.
Yeah. Winkler takes that one for a strike. Winkler 1 for 4 in game one, included a couple of strikeouts. Of course, the HCAC has a great relationship with the city of Kokomo, and again, they're just a great host. Here's the 0-1. There's another strike.
Looked like she wanted that one pretty badly, but couldn't commit.
Hodges, good speed down at second base. See if Winkler can get one right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Now 1-2.
Wide outside.
Two ways we play here in the bottom of the first, and the Fighting Engineers trying to get out in front. This one hit well, base hit into center field. Rounding third is Hodges, and it's 1-0 Fighting Engineers.
Great contact there, able to read the pitcher perfectly. Split it between the defense and get to first.
Abigail Shear will step to the plate, 0 for 3 in game one.
Number 12, Abigail Shear.
It's a nice piece of hitting right there by Winkler. After the Fighting Engineers fell down 4-0 in game one, they come back, take the lead early in this one. There's a called strike. One thing about Fulton so far, though, she has been around the plate. I know it's early. We're only in the first inning, but the amount of walks she has given up coming into this one is a little bit alarming. Right back to the pitcher. And the throw to first by Fulton, but Rose-Hulman gets a run on the board after one. They lead it 1-0.
2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base.
Rose allowed me to have a good foundation as an engineer. Like, you enjoy solving those problems. There are 500 different directions that we could go, and only one is likely the right one that's going to work. Figuring out why it works or why it could work, what could break, like really thinking 5 steps ahead. That's what Rose teaches you to do. It's not a factory of like just trying to get people out the door and getting them their degrees. Like, they genuinely care about each individual student. They want you to walk away feeling like you got out of it what you wanted. That's what sets Rose-Hulman apart. Together, we are Rose-Hulman.
Back here at Rose-Hulman, 1-0 Fighting Engineers. King, Cunningham, and Newall due up. King was 0 for 3 in the first game. Well, a better start for Rose-Hulman in game number 2. So the right-handed hitting King will step to the plate. Smith, her first pitch, inside corner called strike.
Now the Engineers so far off to a much better start than we saw last game. Last time this was flipped on its head ×4. Panthers were up 4-0 after the first, but right now we're not seeing hardly any mistakes. They've really straightened up, and certainly helps to be in a favorable pitching battle.
That was a great pitch that time by Smith. King way out in front. And now 0-2 off the end of the bat foul. Smith does a nice job mixing that breaking pitch and the off-speed along with her fastball, keeping the hitters off balance. Off the end of the bat foul again. Saw Claire King, a freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Averages .340. Little surprising she wasn't able to get one last game, but able to get one this
just
time.
in front of Piers in center. First hit by the Panthers. And that'll bring up Lily Cunningham out of Cecina High School. Did play in the first game, reached on an error in the 7th inning. Pitch inside, ball 1. Cunningham tried to convince the home plate umpire that a hit her on the arm. I don't think he bought it, huh?
He did not seem too interested in that. Cunningham was able to find some success last game as a pinch hitter.
That's a called strike that'll leave in the count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Shearer, the third baseman, anticipating Cunningham maybe laying down a bunt. We talked about the hitting woes for Hanover in the first game. There's a swing and a miss, and again, they're not a team that's going to scare you too much offensively. In fact, in most of the categories, they are near the bottom of all the major categories in the HCAC. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball, shortstop Hodges flipping on to Sarvis, not in time to get the runner down at first, but they do get the lead runner. Score that one 6-4 for out number 1. Cunningham will reach on the fielder's choice.
Pitcher was just a little bit late on that. Probably could have gotten there early and sped up the double play, but able to get it just past her.
Now he steps to the plate. Now he had a Greenwood played her high school softball at Perry Meridian. And a swing and a miss. Another good pitch there by Smith. Good fastball. And quickly 0-2. Now in the first game went 1 for 4. Had a base hit in the 4th inning. And Smith with the 0-2 pitch in the dirt.
One-two count here.
Good cut there by Nowie. Third baseman Shear really playing close to the line.
Yeah, we saw last game there wasn't a ton of power going on, but a lot of balls were just getting past the infieldman.
1-2 pitch, a little bit low and outside, even the count at 2-2.
This is more of a contact team than a power team. That's how I'd put it.
Off the end of the bat foul once again. And we'll stay at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The break-even pitch popped up right side. And an easy play for the right fielder. And there's 2 away.
She's not going to make the same mistake she did earlier. Maybe she just lost it in the sun that time, but that's a solid catch.
So Travioli makes out number 2. Maddie Kamer will step to the plate. Maddie 0 for 3 in game 1. Another good off-speed pitch way out in front. That has been Smith's best pitch so far. That's one of those pitches that comes in there looking like a fastball, and then all of a sudden it's not. 0-2. Smith manages to get a win here. It'll be her 9th of the year. So far, no walks in this game. That's fouled away. Kamer stays at 0-2. Fly ball, right field. Travioli there once again makes the catch, and that'll do it for Hanover in the second. Fighting Engineers lead it 1-0.
1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base.
At Rose-Hulman, our goal is to give our students the world's best STEM education in an environment of individual attention and support, all while achieving over 98% job placement after graduation. Your first year at Rose is all about building community. During your time at Rose, you'll be collaborating with other students in a diverse array of clubs, intramurals, and out in the community. You might be in the 40% of students that play a sport, or the third that are involved in fraternities and sororities. Over 90% of all Rose-Hulman students have at least one internship, co-op or research opportunity, or study abroad by the start of their senior year. Your degree in STEM means you won't be stuck on one path, though. STEM is all about creative problem solving, and Rose-Hulman is a place where creative minds thrive. The skills you learn here will help you reach your career goals and will grow with you as a person for the rest of your life.
Caitlin Sarvis will lead things off for the Fighting Engineers here in the second with a 1-0 lead. Sarvis, Tucker, and Travioli all due up. 1 run, 2 hits, and an error in this second game. There's a swing and a miss. For the Panthers, no runs, a hit, and no errors.
Last game, Sarvis was able to get to home.
Pitch is up high. She had that triple in the 5th inning. Coleman able to drive her in as Sarvis went 2 for 3 with a strikeout in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch. There's a called strike. Here's the 1-2. Easy ground ball to the first baseman. Kamer steps on the bag. There's 1 away.
You know, last game, if that would have happened, I would have been questioning whether or not they're going to be able to make the play.
True.
It seemed like everything was up in the air there at the beginning.
Kira Tucker will step to the plate. Did not play in game 1. Swings and fouls this one away. Tucker, a freshman out of Gilbert, Arizona.
That one was a pretty opportunity right down the middle.
This might be the first time we've seen lefty-lefty here tonight. Pitch is low. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm loving these cheers right now.
Here's the pitch on the way, lifted foul. Well, you better be really focused with all those cheers going on, huh? I'd be distracted.
Yeah. Be trying to figure out the words.
This one lined into right field, base hit. So Tucker, third hit now for the Fighting Engineers. And that'll bring up Trevioli.
Up next, number 4, Rosie Travioli.
Travioli, a couple of walks in game 1 and a run scored.
Pretty good game from the freshman.
Shows bunt. Runner takes off, throw down, and the tag laid on. And Tucker is out. And that'll be out number 2.
Last game we saw a similar situation where there was a runner from first able to steal second, but they kind of had the benefit of a bit of a stray pitch where the catcher had to be a little bit awkward in that position. That time, catcher was in a perfect position, able to make the throw to second.
Oh, and 2 down to Travioli. This one hit into center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Gets by Smith. Heading to second. Here's the throw. Not in time. And a double by Travioli. So now a runner in scoring position here in the second. And here's Pierce.
Next to that, number 18, Seal Pierce.
That was about as close as you could get. I thought for sure she was going to get thrown out, but she saw something I didn't, and good for her.
Pierce 0 for 3 in game 1. Did reach base in the 4th inning on an error. Chopper over the middle. It's going to be tough. Gets through. Runner rounding third. Travioli will score, and it's 2-0 Fighting Engineers.
Engineers are up to 5 hits now. A much better pace than they were last game.
And now top of the order, and Hodges, who scored the game's first run.
Emily Hodges.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Pierce, and Hodges will step to the plate. Chance to keep the inning going with 2 away. And a called strike.
That was a pretty fastball.
So another look at the Pierce base hit that drove in the run. And the 0-1. Loop toward the first baseman, and there is Kamer to grab that one for out number 3. But Fighting Engineers get another run. After 2 complete, they lead it 2-0.
No errors and 1 left on base. Go for Hanover, Ali.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Head to the third, it'll be Christ, Smith, and Reyna all due up for Hanover. As the Fighting Engineers lead it 2-0.
Christ last game not able to get a hit and 3 at-bats. Looking to change that up a little bit.
And they moved her down in the order from the 7th spot to the 9 hole, and the first pitch in there for a strike. The pitch by Smith. There's that off-speed pitch again. And quickly 0-2 now to Christ. Did it again. And Chris strikes out, and a quick out here in the 3rd.
Aubrey Smith finding her groove a little bit early.
Number 1, Addison Smith.
Well, speaking of Hanover, they just had a real difficult time recognizing that pitch that Smith has thrown extremely well. Bunted. Backhanded by Smith. Throw to first, and it gets by at first base. So one Smith outdueling the other Smith, and for the second time, we see Addison Smith on base here in the 3rd. Here's Reyna.
Fortunately, that ball hit Addison Smith's foot, or else that thing would have been lost in right field, potentially leading to a double.
So Reyna 0 for 1. Popped up. That's going to go out of play. So Addison Smith reached on an error in the 1st inning. They give her a base hit here in the 3rd inning, so been on base twice. See if they try to get her going down at first base. They'll show bunt, and a good one in front of the plate. Newsom's only play is at first, and they'll get the 2nd out.
Good heads-up play there, able to get it to first relatively quickly. That ball hardly went anywhere.
And that'll bring up Morgan Bailey. Bailey struck out in the 1st. So 2 away, ground ball to the shortstop, Hodges. And just like that, the inning over. Hanover comes up empty. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Rose-Hulman leads it 2-0.
1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base.
Nanotechnology is in so many different facets of our lives that we don't even realize. So the easy thing is smartphones. Nanoscale chips that are in the smartphones. Something else you don't think about are the sensors in all of our cameras. Those sensors that give us the pretty pictures are made by nano engineers. Glitter. It's everywhere, right? Parents' worst nightmare. It's actually a highly designed structure of thin films that they create to have a certain effect. And so that's why you have a single colored glitter, you have a color shift glitter. That's nano engineering.
Back here at Rose-Hulman, my producer just gave me a look like, I think he was pointing that we were on the air. What do you think? 2-0, Fighting Engineers. It'll be Newsom, Smith, and Winkler all due up. So Fulton has given up 5 hits through 2. Newsom 0 for 1.
Newsom was phenomenal last game. Already brought that up, but again, not a single mistake on the offensive side.
Well, and if I'm Fulton, I know I've got to be really careful here with Newsom. She hit the last one into center field, gave it quite a ride, but this young lady right here has been really playing well at the plate. There's a called strike. We always talk about players that are in a zone hitting well, how that ball looks so big coming across the plate. That probably was ball number 2, but she took a cut at it.
And I don't blame her for that. She's, like you said, she's in a zone. She's feeling hot. All her contact has felt like good contact. She got on base 4 times last game. That's pretty darn good.
The 1-2 pitch. Got her looking. That's a big strikeout for Fulton. So with one away, that'll bring up Aubrey Smith.
Stepping up to the plate, number 1.
Aubrey grounded out in the first.
Last game, Aubrey Smith was not able to tack a hit.
Pitch is low and outside. So far, Aubrey 0 for 5 in the doubleheader. Pitch is high and outside, quickly 2-0. Grounded to the shortstop, backhanded by Bailey. Regathers and throws a strike to first for out number 2.
That one was pretty close. I thought that little fumble there would have affected it more, but great play, able to get it to first.
Here's Winkler. Winkler singled her only time up, has 2 hits in the doubleheader. And the pitch by Fulton is a called strike. Yeah, it's pretty close. Bang, bang play down at first base.
Winkler averaging 195, but so far 1 for 1.
And the count even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
I got a little distracted by their chant, and that's my fault, but like we were talking about earlier, it's so...
Were they calling her Winky?
Yeah, they're saying go Winky.
2 balls and a strike.
I wish I had a cool nickname like that.
Oh, give us time. We'll find one for you. Here's the 2-1. Popped up. Second baseman Christ is there. And a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the 4th. 2-0 Rose-Hulman.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through. From coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
Back here at Rose-Hulman, we head to the top of inning number 4 to be Fulton, King, and Cunningham all due up. Fulton 0 for 1, flew out to right field in the first inning.
Last game, Fulton was able to get 2 hits on 4 attempts. So a pretty good game.
Down on base 3 times. And a swing and a miss. They have not been able to catch up with that off-speed pitch by Smith. And they may get a steady diet the rest of the way. Here's the 0-1.
The difference in styles between these two pitchers we're seeing is quite interesting because we're seeing here Smith back and forth between that off-speed pitch and the fastball, really throwing them off. But then on the other side, we're seeing Ashley Fulton, incredible speed, just painting the outside, which is also, she's finding a lot of success there. It's just truly interesting seeing 2 different, completely different styles of pitchers, right-handed, left-handed.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Fulton way out in front of that last pitch. And we'll go to 2-2. The break-even pitch is outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So far, no walks given up by Smith in the first 3 innings. Does have 2 strikeouts. That one jams her. Slow roller. Sarvis charging, flipping onto first, 1 away.
Quick and easy play there for the Engineers.
On next to bat, number 27, Claire King.
We're going to get some action from the baseball game that's going on. It's 1-0 in the top of the 8th inning, so stay tuned for that in just a moment. The pitch is inside for a ball. King singled in the 2nd inning.
Pitch about got her in the cheek there. She did not hesitate.
There's that pitch once again. 1 ball, 1 strike. So we will do that as soon as we get the final out here in the 4th. Fine Engineers baseball team playing right behind us. Pitch in the dirt. The pitch by Smith in the dirt once again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now to King.
King's got a little room to work with here. We saw she got a good hit earlier, able to get on base.
Well, there's that off-speed pitch once again, and she's out in front, so the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The payoff pitch on the way, line toward the shortstop. Easy play by Hodges, 2 away.
Good catch there, and Hodges is redeeming herself from last game.
Up next to bat, number 4, Lily
She's been
Cunningham.
incredibly solid so far.
Cunningham 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. Off the end of the bat, foul. Final week for both softball and baseball in the HCAC. Popped up right side. Second baseman going out, and Sarvis makes the catch. And that's going to do it here in the 4th. As promised, Rose-Hulman baseball in the 8th inning, trailing at 1-0.
Left on base. You have for Rose-Hulman, Abigail Shearer, Caitlin Sarvis, and Kira Tucker. Your Fighting Engineers are on social media. Follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at RHIT Sports. Starting off the inning for the Engineers, number 12, Abigail Shearer.
We got a look there at the Milliken and Rose-Hulman game, 1-0 in the 8th. Shearer, Sarvis, and Tucker all due up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Slow roller, charging third baseman, throws a low throw by Nowie, and safe at first base is Shearer.
Shearer's able to get her first hit of the night so far between the 2 games. She's a .333 hitter, so this one was due.
Next to bat,
And here's Sarvis.
Sarvis.
May have charged an error, though, on the third baseman on the low throw. Not a hit for Shearer. Grounded right side. That'll get through for a base hit. Now runners at first and second. Sarvis now 1 for 2. Here's Tucker.
26, Kira Tucker.
So after Shearer reached on the bay, or should say the error by Nowie, Sarvis with the single. Tucker singled in the second inning, and they're swinging at all the first pitches we have seen so far.
Rose-Hulman swinging with a lot more confidence than they were last game, and it's really working out for them. They're able to read this pitcher a little better. We have an 0-1 count.
Well, bunted foul. Tucker trying to get that one to the right side and quickly falls behind at 0-2. Run in the first inning, run in the second inning here for Rose-Hulman. The pitch by Fulton. This one is lobbed down the line, base hit. Now runners at all 3 bases. That'll bring up Travioli.
Bases loaded, no outs.
Up next, number 4, Rosie Travioli.
Won the
Great
ball.
position.
Ball has eyes on that one, doesn't it? Saw the pitch just to the outside, got it down the line.
That was just out of reach of anyone on that left side. Third baseman wasn't able to get it. Great placement.
Fastball up high.
Good eye.
Travioli doubled in the second inning, scored a run.
And she's averaging .411 on the season. Like that's pretty good. Leads the team.
Popped up, and that will go out of play.
Ooh. Pretty close to hitting some family and friends.
One ball and 1 strike. There's Travioli right there, right-handed hitter. Chance to add to a 2-0 lead. The pitch. Called strike.
1-2 count. I'm sure she'll want that one back because she is very efficient.
Ground ball, second baseman. The throw to home plate. They'll get the out. Christ does a nice job getting the force out at home. Travioli will reach on the fielder's choice, and that'll bring up Piers.
Next to bat, number 18, Lucille Piers.
Yeah, well done protecting the plate there, and she was all over that ground ball. Great security, great execution.
Looks like maybe Sarvis sliding into third base may be a little shaken up on this one. She may come out of the lineup for the moment. Again, she had to really think about sliding simply because you didn't know where the ball was going to go. And so she will take a seat. I'm sure we'll see her back in the lineup relatively shortly. Marley Wallin will step in and will be a courtesy runner down at third.
Lucille Piers up to bat. And if Rose-Hulman's able to get a couple more batters in, Jessica Newsom is just around the corner. And like we saw, she got that home run last game. She's been hitting phenomenally.
Popped up. Should be an easy play for Foy, and it is.
And that's starting to seem like more of a reach.
Here's Hodges.
Up next to bat, number 21, Emily Hodges.
Boy, this would be tough. Have a chance to get the bases loaded, no outs here in the fourth inning. Line toward the second baseman, snagged by Christ, and Rose-Hulman unable to get anything here in the fourth. We head to the fifth inning. Rose leads at 2-0.
Munster, who was both the athletic director and the basketball coach at the time, wrote me a letter. Said, we're interested in you coming to the school. And so I went over and visited in January or February of 1977 and kind of fell in love with the school. And I felt like if I can get a degree here, I'm going to get a job, and that mattered a lot to me. Hi, I'm Steve Hill, CEO and president of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. I get to work with an amazing team to promote Las Vegas as the #1 tourist destination and the go-to place for conventions, sports, and entertainment. We've helped expand the convention center, launch the Vegas Loop, and bring big events like the Super Bowl, Formula One, and WrestleMania to town. As chairman of the Stadium Authority, I also help oversee Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the future A's ballpark.
Back once again here at Rose-Hulman. Now Kamer and Christ. We have a couple of changes. I think Coleman is now at second base. Sarvis is out. And if you can check your lineup card there, we'll see who is in left field.
Now batting, number 5.
It's like Megan Newton.
So Newton is in left field again. Coleman at second base. And the pitch in there for a strike. That was that slide by Sarvis. Apparently turned an ankle in the last half inning.
Fortunately, she was smiling coming off the field, so hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Now we 0 for 1. Flew out back in the second inning. And quickly, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now 1 for 5 in the doubleheader.
Panthers did a great job last inning shutting down Rose-Hulman.
Popped up. Coleman gets in at second base and immediately makes a play. There's one away, and that'll bring up Kamer.
And we saw that last game, too, where the Panthers had bases loaded there at the end of the game, and Rose-Hulman was able to shut them down, not allow a single run. Got turned on its head there.
See, Kamer played her high school ball at Franklin Central High School. Quickly 0-1. Kamer flew out in the second inning to right field. The 0-1 pitch. Backhanded by Shear. Knocks it down. Throw to first is in time. Another bang-bang play. Great job by Shear to recover.
Another close one where that ball just seems to slide its way out of the mitt. But a great recovery there.
Up to bat, number 14, Ali Christ.
So here is Christ, struck out in the third. Pitches up high. Well, I mean, you think about the fielders in softball, a lot of times, why don't they get out in front of it? You don't have time to get out in front of a lot of those. You got to backhand make the throw because you don't have as much time as you would in baseball where you have 90 feet down the lines. I mean, you got to get it and you got to do it quickly.
Right. And that ball's so big, it's probably incredibly difficult to fit it in your mitt so accurately. So great job stopping it there.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, lined off the glove of Shear. That'll be a fair ball. Rounding the base is Christ, and she'll be held to a single. But almost a nice play by Shear.
Able to get her hand on it, but just not enough to really close in on it and keep it firm.
Number 1, Addison Smith.
But still a good job, good athletic play of stopping it at the very least.
Well, after looking at the replay right there, I think Shear thought as that one is going to be slapped up the middle. Tag laid on by Coleman, so Coleman makes 2 plays in the half inning. Hanover comes up empty. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Fighting Engineers lead at 2-0.
Left on base. Due up for Rose-Hulman, Jessica Newsom, Aubrey Smith, and Jaden Winkler.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
Playing like they're scouts out there.
Oh.
In my 50s.
In your 50s. That's a long time to practice, I'll tell you that.
Talking about practice.
Who are you going to practice with? Who's helping you?
I'll have a dog by then or something. Maybe my mom always supports me.
Yeah, your mom will come out and help
you. A walker.
That's right.
Told you it's slow pitch.
Back once again here at Rose-Hulman. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's one of the hotter hitters in the league right now. We mentioned Newsom struck out looking her last time up, 0 for 2. Third look at Fulton in the pitch, swung on, hit to center field. Smith is there, squeezes it for out number 1, and Newsom is 0 for 3.
She's so good at finding the ball, and we saw that last game with how much success she had. And even this game, every out she's had, it's been out pretty deep. Center fielder has her number, though, but she's still been finding some success.
Aubrey Smith, 0 for 6. Takes the first pitch high and outside for a ball. Smith grounded out in the first and also grounded out in the third. There's a called strike.
Aubrey Smith been one of those key factors with her pitching, able to switch it up on these batters, having a lot of success these last 2 games.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1.
So at what point do they replace those lines that are supposed to guide the pitcher?
Never. Till the next game.
At this point, it's more of a suggestion.
Yes. Well, I would venture to say if I'm the whole plate umpire, see that one little white one still sticking out there on our left?
Yeah, it's surviving.
That's my guide. Because you notice where she's stepping, right there. Popped up. Right center field. Smith is there. King is there. King will make the catch. There's 2 away. Here's Winkler.
Engineers still holding on to the lead they got early.
You know, it reminds me when the grounds crew does the boxes around home plate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of hitters try to erase lines, especially in baseball, as this one is hit down the line foul, because you want to stand back further in the box. And if you can get even further back than the line, then you have an advantage as a hitter, see? Softball, you very rarely see a hitter go all the way back to the back of the batter's box. Make sense?
True. I see where you're going with this.
Now, the pitchers, that's a called strike. Very rarely you're going to see them sidestep those 2 lines out there, even if they're gone, because it would completely throw them off as a pitcher, correct?
I would believe so.
Yes. Here's the 0-2. Now, I'm sure there are pitchers out there that try to take advantage of that.
You got to get any advantage you can.
Sure. And they will exploit it if they can get away with it, but I've never really even seen a pitcher step outside those lines. Ooh, good cut. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I just don't see what benefit you could get from Maybe just a wider angle.
Well, maybe if you have a pitcher that has a different delivery, and maybe they sidestep a little bit more.
I'll bring that into my slow pitch league one day.
I know you will. When your mom's training you in her walker.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. When you're going to be practicing for 30 years, I heard?
Well, you got to practice.
Yes,
they do say that it makes perfect.
Yeah, well, you'll be an old man by then. Popped up right side. That's going to fall in for a base hit right in front of King. So a 2-out single for Winkler. And here's Shearer.
Winky got tired of hearing us yap.
Yeah. Get on to something else.
Up next to that, number 12, Abigail Shearer.
Do have a final on the Rose-Hulman Milliken game. Milliken wins that one 1-0. Pitch is a called strike. So non-conference matchup there for the Fighting Engineers, and gave a top 25 team a battle tonight here in Terre Haute. Shearer grounded out in the first inning, reached on an error in the fourth. Takes the pitch high and inside. Eight hits now for the Fighting Engineers. We play in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Panthers defense has been very good the last 3 innings, but their offense just cannot seem to get anything going. Both teams kind of struggling to consistently get on base and proceed with that.
1 ball, 2 strikes now to Shearer. And got her looking. As Shearer strikes out to end the 5th inning, they'll leave a runner on. After 5 complete, Rose leads at 2-0.
No errors and 1 left on base.
The thought process and the training on how to think about things, I think, has been more valuable than the degree in my career. But I really feel like Rose taught me just the structure of how to think well. That structure and that discipline has been something you can apply even when it's not to what is kind of a stereotypical engineering problem. That's been, I feel, a real benefit.
Hey sports fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
2-0 as Rose-Hulman with the lead here in the top of this 6th inning. Reyna, Bailey, and Fulton all due up. Hanover down now to their final 6 outs. They have struggled offensively. This one hit up the middle, backhanded by Coleman, and can't make the play. That'll be an infield hit for Reyna.
Just the 4th hit for the Panthers. They've been struggling to make good contact, but still plenty of game left. Only a 2-run lead for the Engineers. This is anyone's game.
Here's Bailey 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the third. Bailey had a base hit in game 1. Ball gets away from Newsom, and that'll allow Reyna to advance down to second base, and did a short slide there. And we got to be awful careful sliding that close to the base. So now Hanover has a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch on the way. Hit well, base hit left field. The throw to third not in time. And now runners at first and third. No outs here in the 6th inning.
No time better than now for the Panthers to really step it up. Like you said, they only have 6 outs left. 2 batters on. That's enough for them to tie the game.
Fulton had a couple of base hits in the first game, 0 for 2 in game 2. So it'd be a good start right here for Fulton to get things going for the Panthers. Grounded up the middle. That's going to get through. Hanover gets a run on the board, and it's 2-1.
It's wild how quickly things can change. Last 5 innings, Panthers haven't put a point up on the board. Now all of a sudden they're within 1 on the Engineers.
So here is King. You see the base hit right there by Fulton. King singled in the second, lined out in the 4th inning. And still no outs here in the 6th. Popped up right side. Infield fly rule is the call, and there is 1 away. Here's Cunningham. Now a chance to perhaps get out of this half inning if a double play is in order. Cunningham is 0 for 2.
Last game in a similar situation, Cunningham was able to get on base for the Panthers in a really crucial situation near the end of the game. Seeing if she can do that again.
Well, they're going to play her to pull. The shortstop, Hodges, deep in the hole, and you see Shear very close to the line down at 3rd. And they played her perfectly. The tag laid on, no. Throw to first in time, yes. Great play by Shear after missing the tag of the runner Bailey, but able to throw a strike down to first base to get Cunningham.
Incredible job by Bailey to not get tagged there because she was right in front of her. Good heads-up play.
Carson now he steps to the plate. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 away, and the pitch a called strike. That's not an easy play that time by Shear to make the spin like that and still throw a strike down to first base. The 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now he's 0 for 2, has flown out both times. The 1-1 pitch, 2-1.
Panthers quickly tacking up hits this inning. Before this, they were, I believe, 3 hits.
Ground ball to the shortstop, Hodges. Throw to first, and that'll do it, but Hanover gets a run. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Fighting Engineers.
Do it for Rose-Hulman, Megan Newton, Kira Tucker, and Rosie Travioli.
Independent studies, I came across the Indiedining.com domain name, and so I built kind of this restaurant listing platform that was a kind of Yelp before Yelp was really popular. So after graduation, I continued work on Indie Dining. I ended up meeting a CEO of a company called FormStack, and from that experience, I ended up starting another business. I built out the company, and then we merged companies again with FormStack. And I took some time off after selling that business, and I realized at my core, I just enjoy like tinkering and building things. I started this venture studio where we kind of come up with ideas and we build them out, and then they kind of run with them. I'm behind the scenes, kind of just doing what I really enjoy is building those products.
Megan Newton will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fulton has held the Fighting Engineers to 2 runs, and the pitch a called strike.
Engineers need to get something on the board here because they are not in a comfortable position. Maybe got a little bit too relaxed the last couple innings, having that 2-run lead.
Big cut and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes.
Newton didn't get the opportunity to hit last game, so she may be a little less warmed up than the rest of these ladies.
Newton hitting in the number 6 hole. Sarvis again leaving the game injured earlier. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Fulton. Tucker is 2 for 2.
26, Kira Tucker.
Singled in the second and singled in the fourth. High in the air down the right field line. King is there, makes the catch in fair territory, and there are 2 quick outs.
Fulton, the pitcher, stepping up big time when it matters. Hasn't allowed a run since the second inning.
Number 4, Rosie.
And right now, the Panthers are rallying.
You mentioned Fulton's numbers coming in. Almost a 2-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio. 16 strikeouts and 33 walks, but so far tonight, I don't think she has walked a hitter yet.
No, I don't believe so.
The 0-1 pitches up high. Has 3 strikeouts this evening. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one hit into left field, base hit. Travioli gets her second hit. Been on base now 3 times in the second game of this doubleheader.
Rose-Hulman finally able to make some contact and get on base. It's been a second, but that's the momentum they're looking for, especially this close to the end of the game where it's gotten so close out of nowhere.
Here's Pierce. Pierce single, drove in a run back in the second, 1 for 2. And the pitch is low for a ball. The 1-0 pitch. In the hole, that'll get through. Now runners at first and second. Pierce gets her second base hit of game 2.
Back to the top of the batting order. Emily Hodges up to bat.
And Hodges 1 for 3 with a run scored. Get another look at the base hit. That was high in the strike zone on the pitch. Again, 2 away with runners at first and second. Hit foul. Good cut by Hodges. There you see the 2 base runners. Travioli at second, Pierce at first. Just outside, leaving the count at 1-1.
A lot of pressure here on Hodges. If she's not able to get on base here with 2 outs, Panthers will have the perfect opportunity to tie this game up or win.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, hit into center field, base hit. Smith coming up throwing, and they will hold the runner at third, and probably a wise thing. Don't want to make that third out at home plate, so now the bases are loaded.
Jessica Newsom up to bat, the slugger who got that home run last game.
There's another look at it right there. Another pitch high in the strike zone. Here is again Newsom, 0 for 3. If Newsom can deliver here. Pitch is low.
Good eye by Newsom, or as the dugout is calling her, J Money.
Newsom again had that home run in the 6th inning of game 1. Ended up with 3 hits once again. The 1-0 pitch. Grounded, backhanded by Bailey. Throw to first in time, and that'll do it. 2 runners left on in scoring position. Here in the 6th inning, we head to the 7th. Rose leads at 2-1.
Left on base. Do it for Hanover. Maddie
It's all about bringing people together, and it's all about dogs.
Dog Day in the drive-thru is a day where we give back to our furry friends.
We hand toys out to dogs and their owners in the drive-thru.
My dogs love this event. Tails start wagging, the heads are out the window.
We also partner with local animal shelters to help dogs find their forever home.
Chick-fil-A knows the heart of the community. You meet new friends, you meet new dogs.
We just love seeing their faces in the drive-thru.
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Well, right now, the Fighting Engineers 3 outs away from sweeping the doubleheader. Aubrey Smith looking to complete this one. It'll be Kamer, Christ, and Smith all due up for Hanover.
Off the bat, number 15, Maddie Kamer.
Now, all game, Aubrey Smith has been on fire pitching-wise, but last inning got away from her a little bit. Panthers only managed to get away with 1 run, but they're in quite good position as that one's a little low.
Well, and it helped we had Raina, Bailey, and Fulton all coming up and swinging at that first pitch. All got singles, but then you left 2 runners in scoring position. That one hit foul, another off-speed pitch, and Kamer out in front. And the count even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
That last inning, Panthers were able to double their hit total. They're looking to keep that up with a chance to take the lead in the final inning.
Rose-Hulman still alive for a playoff berth as that's hit foul. If they win this one, they go to 6-10. As we mentioned, there's some big games coming up. And of course, everything will finish out this weekend. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. There's one. Next week, Thursday, for both baseball and softball up in Kokomo, it is a 10 o'clock start time. I want to remind you that'll be on hcac.tv. Every game, every pitch.
Up to bat, number 16, Chloe Leach.
We'll see a new hitter here as Chloe Leach will now hit in the number 9 hole. First pitch swinging, hit fouls that one away.
Hasn't had an opportunity to hit yet.
You know, there's only one consistent thing about baseball and the softball tournaments. On the baseball side, we will have one crew. On the softball side, they got to rotate all these guys out. They can't take it, see? They aren't tough like us baseball guys are and stay the whole time.
No.
No one knows. No balls and 2 strikes. Noah won't. You're not going to be there, right? You have finals that week or something like that, or you'll be there. You'll be there at some point. Okay. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Baseball, I'm sure, right? Oh, he's doing softball. Oh, he's one of those guys.
One of those guys.
One of those guys. I know we have some guys coming in the morning for softball, and then they're leaving and then reversing it, see? This one hit well into right field. That's going to hit the base of the fence. Leach down to second with a 1-out double, and the Panthers are still alive.
Wow. Weight of the world on Aubrey Smith's shoulders right now, because she has the chance to close this game out, but with that hit right there, you know she's sweating.
courtesy runner ready now for Hanover. Looks like that may be number 14, Allie Christ. So that represents the tying run. Christ now down at second base. Of course, she was the original number 9 hitter, so he basically replaces herself. Here is Smith, who's been on base 3 times, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Smith reached on an error in the first, singled in the third, and then reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th inning. The 1-0 by Smith. Check swing out in front of the plate. It'll be a fair ball. Newsom the strike to first, and there's 2 away. Christ advancing to third.
Christ at third is dangerous. She has to play this really smart, because if she tries to steal here, could send the game to extra innings potentially, or end the game.
You're starting to sound like Keith Myers. He just wants to squeeze everybody in. That's why he no longer coaches. Swing and a miss by Reyna. See, he got 1 win doing that, and he never won again.
Stick with it.
He
worked
went
once, I swear.
1 and 324 in his softball career. The 0-1 inside. One ball, 1 strike. The tying run down at third. Reyna singled and scored in the 6th inning. The pitch by Smith. It's outside, 2-1.
If you can get away with just a walk, it's not the end of the world. Which it seems like she knows that, because she's kind of trying to bait them outside.
Line base hit, tying the ball game. Reyna, her 2nd hit, and we're tied at 2 apiece. Here's Bailey.
Up to bat, number 10, Morgan Bailey.
Bailey averages 374 on the season.
1 ball and no strikes. Bailey 1 for 3. She was on base all 4 times in game 1. And the pitch low. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch there from Aubrey, slowing it down a little bit.
The 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed again. 2-2. If we're looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Smith, Winkler, and Shear right in the middle of the order. Ground ball gets through, base hit. And right now, Smith having a hard time getting that final out. Bailey now 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Fulton, the cleanup hitter.
Having a little chat with her catcher. Looks like they resolved everything.
Up next to bat, number 12, Ashley Fulton.
What a bad pitch in the outside corner. But Bailey reaching out and getting the base hit, their 9th of the game. Chopper to the second baseman, Coleman, and that'll do it. We head to the bottom of the 7th. We're tied at 2.
I'm Barry Schneider. I'm the president and chief operating officer of Steel Dynamics Incorporated. Steel Dynamics is the largest recycling company in the United States. Faculty here is here to teach. You're not a bother, you're a purpose, but you can't be shy about asking. That's where you figure out I can only be better if I'm willing to accept the help and ask for it. year in, year out, the caliber of graduates that comes out of Rose-Hulman stands above, because this is a challenging environment. But it's a challenging environment that's designed to help us be successful. And that, again, is the small school approach where the faculty is committed to your education. You are the purpose the school's here. Rose-Hulman is and will always be a special place for me because of the people that I've shared the experience of being here with. Together, we are stronger.
Bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Smith, Winkler, and Shearer. So now you just need to produce one right here. Fulton has pitched well. There's a called strike. Smith 0 for 3.
Yeah, Fulton ever since the start of the game has really found her groove. Especially since that stat where she has like a 3-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio.
That one's lifted into left field, base hit. And Smith, her first hit in this doubleheader. She had been 0 for 7, and now you have the winning run down at first base. Here's Winkler.
Could be the biggest hit of the night.
Off the bat, number 10, Jaden Winkler.
Well, you saw it right there, got just enough of it to get it out of the infield. Now will Winkler sacrifice the runner to second? Winkler has 2 hits. She'll square to bunt and bunts it foul.
They're really just trying to force Aubrey Smith to score. Which, I mean, what else are you supposed to do at this point?
Winkler singled in the first, singled in the 5th. Trying to get it to the right side if possible. Boy, she offers the throw down, and the tag is in time. And there is the first out of this 7th inning. Great throw by Foy. But now Winkler finds herself behind now, no balls and 2 strikes.
Good heads-up play by Allie Chris to be able to make that tag behind her.
Pitches outside. When you saw Winkler offering at that last pitch that put her down at 0-2, she thinks she's doing everything she could to protect the base runner Smith. Swing and a miss, 2 quick outs.
A little bit of hesitation there on the swing, got her.
Up next to bat,
here's
number
Shearer.
12, Abigail Shearer.
Shearer no hits on the day so far.
That one jams her and fouls it away. Shearer grounded out in the 1st, reached on an error in the 4th, caught looking in the 5th inning.
With 2 outs, you got to play this perfectly.
Popped up. Easy play for Christ. We'll have extras. We head to the 8th. We're tied at 2.
At the end of the bottom of the 7th, there were no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left.
Extra innings here at Rose-Hulman. We head to the top of the 8th. King, Cunningham, and now we all due up. King 1 for 3.
We saw in the last 2 innings, the Panthers have tripled their hit total. Really finding their groove at a good time.
King quickly down 0-1. You see Shear taking away any bunt possibility to the left side. And you could tell King trying to push it toward the first baseman. Swinging away at this one. And coming on to make the catch. And there's one away.
Up next is the designated player, Lily Cunningham.
Up next to bat, number 4, Lily Cunningham.
So far, 0 for 3 on the day.
High pitch. Pitch is low for a ball.
You know, despite going into into extra innings, this crowd, it's a lot of energy. Surrounded with the dugouts.
Mm-hmm. Good bunt. Smith played at first, gets the out there. Here's Nowie.
I want to hear more about Keith Meyer's coaching career.
No, you don't. That ball gets away from the catcher, and a run scores. And the Panthers now lead at 3-2.
First lead of the night for the Panthers. First lead in either game since
inning number 1, right? Inning number 1 of game 1.
Took them a couple innings to score, though, did it not?
4 in the first.
Now batting, number 5, Carson.
Or for Rose-Hulman to score.
Hanover scored 4 in the first. Is that what you're talking about?
When did Rose-Hulman score first in that first game?
Third inning.
That's what I meant.
Oh.
There we go. It's been a minute.
And it might be a few more minutes. The 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. There's a called strike.
Carson Nowie looking for a first hit of the night on a 2-2 count.
That one hit into center field, and making the catch is Piers. Final out. Top of the 8th. We head to the bottom half, inning number 8, 3-2 Panthers.
At Rose-Hulman, our goal is to give our students the world's best STEM education in an environment of individual attention and support, all while achieving over 98% job placement after graduation. Your first year at Rose is all about building community. During your time at Rose, you'll be collaborating with other students in a diverse array of clubs, intramurals, and out in the community. You might be in the 40% of students that play a sport, or the third that are involved in fraternities and sororities. Over 90% of all Rose-Hulman students have at least one internship, co-op or research opportunity, or study abroad by the start of their senior year. Your degree in STEM means you won't be stuck on one path, though. STEM is all about creative problem solving, and Rose-Hulman is a place where creative minds thrive. The skills you learn here will help you reach your career goals and will grow with you as a person for the rest of your life.
Number 23, Megan
3-2 Hanover. Newton will lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th. 3 straight runs scored by the Panthers.
Fulton's looking to keep her hot pitching alive.
Bunted first base side, but bunted foul. Well, Hanover trying to play spoiler here in game number 2. The odds of Rose-Hulman getting into that tournament would get pretty slim if they lose this second game. Boy, I'd hate to be thinking about all the help you're going to have to get in.
Oh,
but
yeah.
at first base side, charging. Kamer throws on to Christ. He throw to third, not in time, so there is one away. Good bunt, though, by Newton.
Got the job done, got the runner to third.
Here's Tucker.
Tucker's 2 for 3 on the night.
Here's Fulton. Off the end of the bat, foul.
Tucker averages .214 on the season, so today's a bit of an outlier day. She's looking to keep that going. Boost those averages a little bit.
Fulton's pitch on the way is high with a fastball, and the count even at 1-1. You know, Major League Baseball adopted the runner at second base over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Major League Baseball's made a ton of changes recently that bringing it back into the spotlight. It's really cool to see.
2 balls and a strike.
And those guiding lines for the pitcher are completely gone now, as there's only a memory of them.
The 2-1 pitch is outside, 3-1. Still one away here in the bottom half of inning number 8. Good look at the left-handed hitter, Tucker. Trevioli is on deck. Popped up, shallow center, and it's going to fall in for a base hit, and we're tied at 3.
That is incredible. I thought for sure the center fielder had it, but as the ball went up, she took a bit of a step back too far. Wasn't able to keep up with it.
I think she thought that ball was hit harder than it was. Trevioli steps to the plate. Been on base all 3 times, has a couple of hits. But now Tucker representing the winning run down at first base. This one hit into right field. King goes back on it, makes the catch. There's 2 away. Here is Piers. Piers been on base twice. Boy, get a gapper here and potentially win this game with Tucker down at first. Pitch way outside.
Here's another one of those players this game that's playing very well. 2 of 3. She also averages .378 on the season.
That's a called strike. One ball, 1 strike, 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. This one hit into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Now runners at first and second. We go to the top of the order. So now the winning run is at second base.
Despite the score, both teams are having a lot of success just making contact and getting on base. It's just progressing past that, getting multiple base hits, like doubles and triples we haven't really seen so far this game. But the stat sheet's filling up.
Hodges 2 for 4. Question is, what is the strategy here? You let Hodges go ahead and hit your leadoff hitter, one of your better hitters. Well, just be patient, though, as a hitter. So after a brief meeting with Fulton and the entire infield, and they have now switched. I think that Reyna and King went from left to right and right to left. So I think they switched. Am I right? Or were they just meeting in center field?
I didn't notice a change.
Pitch is low and outside for a ball.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they switched up. I think you're just getting a little sleepy.
I'm just wanting to fill out 12 innings.
The golden number.
Yes. This one hit into right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. And Rose-Hulman gets the win. The base hit by Hodges.
Wow.
Third hit of the night. Drives in Tucker from second base. And Rose-Hulman gets the win in the bottom half of the 8th inning. They win it 4-3. Take another look at the hit right here.
You know, just when I was saying that they weren't able to be getting these multi base hits, she finds the perfect spot in the defense. Wow.
Going to take another look at it right here from behind home plate.
Couldn't have come at a better time.
Now the throw was off the mark. It may have been close if it were around the plate, but here you see one more look at it. And here's the play at the plate as Tucker able to get in with the winning run. So with that win, Rose-Hulman sweeps the doubleheader. They're now 16-20 overall. They are still alive in a possible playoff berth as they go to 6-10 in the HCAC. The top 6 teams do make it. Hanover eliminated. They will fall to 11-25 overall, 3-15 in conference play. That's going to do it. Your final score in game number 2, Rose-Hulman 4, Hanover 3 in 8 innings for the entire crew. And thank you for being with us here on RHIT.TV.